That one.
Hello! Welcome, friends, to a little one-off episode of High Rollers here today.
It's going to be the Starbane Sexy Special.
It's not.
With my husband playing Super Sexy Starbane.
Oh, why have I done this?
Hey.
Hello, welcome
Hello.
to... Oh, God. Thanks, Ted. Thanks. We are... So, obviously, a lot of the normal crew aren't here today.
Dead.
Ree is away for Craigle's birthday, and I
Yep.
think Tom and Trot are having a very well-deserved bit of time off after moving house. Katie's working on some Ayla stuff,
Yes,
actually. She's
she
writing
is.
up some cool Ayla stuff today. But we still wanted to stream.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of fun with the game that we're going to be playing today, and I wanted to try it as a co-op experience. So Kim was up for it, and who else was up for it?
Jesus.
Kim's husband, Ted. So Ted, you've been on the Jingle Jam, haven't you? You came on for Kim's birthday,
Yeah.
and then you've been on some of Kim's streams.
I've been
We
on Kim's
did Mario
channel.
Kart and Mario
Mario
Kart,
Kart.
and we didn't kill each other. So.
Well
Yeah.
done. Well, you might kill each other today after role-playing with each other. That's how it always goes down with me and married couples. So today, we are going to be playing a game that I played solo on my Twitch channel, and it is called Ironsworn. It is a very fun RPG. It is very different to Dungeons & Dragons. So one thing clear is the way that the game is played, the kind of concepts and themes behind the game is very different. It's still fantasy,
Yep.
it's still adventure, it's still,
still got
going out there
dice.
doing quests and doing dice, but it will be very different. So we'll try and go over the rules, and hopefully you guys can follow along at home. The other thing is, the guy who made this game, Sean Tomkin, has been super supportive of me, and he's like sent me all the stuff.
Ooh.
It's all available for free online anyway. Like this
Free?
whole game is free online.
Amazing.
It does have a bit where you can go and pay if you think that it is of money.
And you
your
should
money.
do.
You should, but it's completely available for free online. But it's what struck me as interesting is it is an RPG that you can play completely solo, so by yourself. You can play it co-op without a GM, which is how we're going to play it today. Or you can play it like normal D&D with a GM and players and everything else. It's really, really cool.
Flexible.
My friend Adam Coble has been playing it as a long-running series on his channel as well. And it's just really good. And it's really fun. And that's what we're going to do today. High Rollers will be back next week. Normal High Rollers next week.
Yes.
We're not going to do any sponsors or anything today. We're just doing this. So,
D&D Beyond.
I mean, it's great anyway, but we're not. I'm not doing a read.
No, it feels weird.
It feels
though.
weird to do it when it's not
not
D&D. I know. So, a couple of quick things. If you didn't watch my streams, which is most people, I'm going to go over the basics of the world. We're going to make some characters. But part of this game is, like, I'm not going to be GMing it, right? Like, I don't have loads of notes because we're going to be creating the world and the circumstances as we go along. And then the system has a ton of random tables that give you basically keywords or things to spark creativity in your imagination.
Joy.
Spark joy. If not, get rid of it, Marie Kondo style. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be creating the narrative as we go. So I'm going to read you out a couple of things, some truths about the world. Is what we
If I
call
could
these.
speak my truth.
I will speak the truth of the world now. So these are things that when you sit down to play Ironsworn, you basically, one of the first chapters is it presents you with a range of topics and then asks you to make a series of choices for them, which define the general lore about your world. When I did it, I had Twitch chat vote on it, and we're just going to play in that same universe to save some time. So here's some cool things about the land. This is called the Iron Lands, which is where the game is set, right? And for those of you at home, it's kind of a mix between Vikings and The Witcher. It's kind of Dark Age, Saxon, Viking, kind of like, early England kind of vibe, medieval stuff, mixed in with a bit more of the horror and monsters of The Witcher.
Nice.
So it's a bit darker, a bit more gritty.
Okay.
Nice.
Right. We left the old world because of a plague that killed everyone it touched. Thousands fled aboard ships for a new land, but many died along the way in order to keep disease from spreading. Some whispers say those we left behind will forever haunt us. Strange metal pillars are scattered across this new land. They are iron grey in colour, but no tool can even scratch them. The Iron Priests worship them and say they are monuments to Ferrus, the Iron Lord. Ancient ruins can be found across the Ironlands. They belonged to an ancient people who came even before the Firstborn. Ironlanders live in communities called circles. Some are a few steadings and farms, some are hundreds of settlements with walls and castles. Trading between circles is common, as is feuding. Leadership varies from circle to circle. Some are ruled by powerful families, some by priests or mystics, councils of elders, and tyrant warrior kings. The wardens are our guards, our militia, and our protectors. They serve communities patrolling their lands for danger or trouble. Some, called free wardens, wander to offer aid wherever they can. Magic is rare and dangerous, but those who wield its power are truly gifted. There are many gods, both old and new, in the Ironlands. A simple prayer is often a good comfort in hard times. Sometimes the gods may even answer those prayers. The firstborn, the elves, the giants, the Varu, and the trolls still live and flourish in the Ironlands. They tolerate us for now. The elves and giants even sometimes trade, but as Ironlanders expand, how long will this truce last? Monstrous beasts stalk the wild areas of the Ironlands, and horrors live in the dark forests and deep waters. At night, ill winds blow, and only fools travel without a bright moon to guide them. The dead and other things care not for the troubles of the living. So that is basically to give you an idea of the basic premises of the world, really. Everything else we're going to create as we go. So if we need a place, we come up with what that place is, and we'll talk about it, and we'll just figure out what it is. We've got the tables if we need a bit of inspiration, and everything else. So the next thing we're going to do is make characters. Pretty nice and simple, actually. There's no races or classes or anything like that. If you want to be human, which is what most Ironlanders are, that's what you are. If you want to have elven blood, you just say that you have, elven features or whatever. There's no mechanical benefit to it, unless you pick a specific aspect, which we'll come on to later.
Okay.
The first thing to do is obviously come up with like a name and stuff like that, but we can leave that till last if you want. Mechanically, there are 5 stats in this game that are used for the majority of the dice rolls. Edge, heart, iron, shadow, and wits. And for those, you're going to put a 3 into 1, a 2 into 2 of them, and a 1 into the remaining 2. 3 is what you're going to be best at. So if you want your character to be particularly strong and good at fighting, put it into iron. That's used for like melee combat. That's used for your presence, how intimidating you can be. I like the names for these because although they're kind of abstract, they do give you kind of impressions for the things they cover. Heart is how sociable you are, how good you get along with other people, how sincere you can be, how well you can convince others that you mean to do well. Edge is your dexterity, your quickness, your agility, that sort of thing. If you want to use a bow, or if you want to be, not necessarily sneaky, but kind of just quick and agile and have good reflexes, Edge is good for that. Shadow is being sneaky, being cunning, being able to lie, being able to deceive people. And then Wits is how good you are at perceiving the world around you. It's how good you are at navigating through the wilderness. That sort of thing.
I can't believe I've got to be bad at some of these things. I want to be good at all of them.
Nope, you must be bad at least 2 of them. And that's a big part of this game, is unlike in D&D where failure is normally really bad, because it doesn't lead to anything. In this, failure will often lead to more interesting things happening.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something to be expected. So I'm kind of going to wait until you guys have made your characters, and then I'm gonna look at making mine to kind of complement it a little bit.
Cool.
So I've gone for 2 edge, 3 heart, 1 iron, 1 shadow, and 2 wits.
Okay, so your character is not particularly strong or intimidating, not very good at sneaking around or being deceitful, but very sociable, very good at kind of bonding and connecting with people. And then you've got like a bit of dexterity and wits to kind of like keep you safe as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Ted, what'd you go for?
I have gone for 3 shadow, 2 edge, 2 heart, 1 iron, and 1 wit.
Okay, so more sneakiness and dexterity, a little bit of sociability and sort of being able to connect with people, but again, not super good at fighting, and maybe not so best out in the wilds of the world.
Correct.
And that kind of stuff. Well, I think I'm probably going to go with then, because you're both pretty not great at the old strength and intimidating presence. Yeah. Well, I mean, no, you can still be good at stabbing, but it's also other things. But I think I might go 3 edge, because I'm going to potentially use a bow, I think. and then I'll probably go with 2 in iron, 2 in wits, then 1 in shadow and 1 in heart. So I'm actually, for a change, I'm going to be less of a talker. I know.
This is going to be weird.
Weird for me. Cool. So after, and this is where I'm still pretty getting used to playing the game as well myself, so I'm going to have to keep jumping back into doing stuff. So once we've done stats, so on your track, you'll see on the right-hand side, you've got 3 markers: health, spirit, and supply. Health is obviously how healthy you are. Spirit is your mental state. You know, like when you become stressed, you're going to lose spirit. Okay. When you take damage or wounds, you're going to lose health. Both of those are all tracked individually. So everybody starts at +5. So either circle it or just put like a little note. Normally you'd have like little tokens or counters you could move, but maybe we could use like dice out of Kim's bag, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Supply, and this is different to when I played solo, we share supply. So supply represents rations, it represents our equipment, the state of our equipment as well. So, you know, losing supply could be like weapons becoming chipped or damaged and that kind of stuff as well, right? So everybody starts at max for those. Momentum, this is the thing that will come into play when we are rolling dice and making checks. So momentum it's your measure of like your, you know, the successes that you're building on, the advantages you can leverage, little things like that. It's very abstract, so it can represent many different things. But the idea of it is that basically as we play through the game and as we make skill checks, you'll often gain momentum as you succeed more things, and you'll lose momentum as you fail things. When you make a roll, you can do something called burning momentum to basically make it easier to succeed at something. But when you do that, it resets. Now, everybody's going to start with a reset value of +2 momentum. So that's basically, if you want to put like a star next to it or something like that, that's like a good indicator of when you reset your momentum, that's where it goes to. And then we're going to start with that amount. So we start with +2 momentum, right?
Cool.
And right now, your max is +10 and your reset is +2. That can change if you start getting conditions. So if you become encumbered, if you become wounded, if you become stressed, though that momentum changes and you start losing that maximum amount. The next thing we would normally do is our iron vows, but I'm going to come to those at the end because I think that's going to be more character related. Same with bonds as well. The bond is basically how you track making friendships and making companions. What are you laughing at? Are you sniggering?
No, it's just
what are you sniggering at?
It's because we literally just watched the latest episode of Picard, and no spoilers. There's a character in it who I find insufferable. Much like people probably found Juto when we did Lightfall. But there's a whole thing about bonding and I bind my blade and like, I'm such an edgelord, and I was just like throwing up.
Well, it's less literal than
I know, it's just the word bond is kind of triggering me.
No, I get it. Well, think of these as people or places. It doesn't necessarily have to be a people, right? That we are connected to. And we're going to choose up to 3 when we kind of like start making more narrative decisions about the character. Yeah. So you can mark up to 3 bonds per character. And that's kind of important to know because those bonds can sometimes influence dice rolls. When you go to do things like gather information at a place that you're bonded to, it's actually easier than going to a fresh place. Or if you're trying to compel somebody that you know, it's easier if you're bonded to, right? Okay. The abilities we don't need to worry about too much yet. Same with burdens and stuff like that. Right, the next bit is kind of where you begin actually really creating the detail of your character. And I know we've already picked some of these before we went live, but we have basically a set of cards called assets. And these represent different things that you can use to customize your character, right? They come in 4 types: companions, paths, rituals, and combat talents. So for example, a path could be an infiltrator or a veteran. A combat talent could be an axe wielder or a sword master or an archer. A companion is literally like, you have a horse, you have a bird, that kind of thing. And then rituals are magic spells that you can cast, right? You pick 3 of these. They can be from any. You could have 3 of one type. You can have a mix and match. You guys already picked yours, so why don't you run through those while I still think about what I want to do.
I picked the path of a story weaver. So basically things like telling stories, singing, or doing some improv jazz poetry. things like that. That's something that I can do.
You have bard skills.
I'm on bard, yeah, it's a bard. It's a bard. I've also picked the combat talent of Swordmaster. So basically, I'm real good with swords, and according to Mark, swords are rare in this world because of iron.
Do you have a sword?
So,
It's rare and it's sacred, right?
Yeah.
Because you have these weird iron pillars that scatter the landscape,
Yeah.
and they've become these kind of like, the gods have placed them here.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically carrying an iron sword is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Signifiers of power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also picked the ritual scry, which everyone knows what scry is. Basically means I can spy on people. I don't really know why I picked it. I kind of just wanted something.
You wanted a cool
Something
spell.
quite familiar, but that's quite familiar to me, right? Like, as a D&D or like scry, I get that. Like, there was a lot of words in these, so I just thought I'd start with a very basic kind of thing that I can get to grips with. And then I'll just kill this character off and go more in depth when I feel ready.
Brilliant.
What have you got, Ted?
So I wanted a pet, so I have got...
Like a true WoW hunter.
Exactly. I have got a pet. It is a raven. And my raven is called Robin.
Oh, wow.
So
Sure.
didn't quite understand that Robin was a bird when I first named them, but it's okay.
Okay.
So my raven heeds my call and does various cool things.
So when you pick a companion, so you give him a name, and then you choose. There's 3 dots with 3 abilities there.
Ah.
You choose one of them. If
choose one.
one's not marked, you choose one, and then we can basically use experience. And you'll see that on all of these asset cards, there's like little dots.
Oh.
Ones are filled in, some aren't. The ones are filled in, you have those already. So those are what you start with. When we gain experience, we can spend experience to improve them. Basically, you can upgrade.
So I start with one already.
Choose one for Robin, the Raven. Disgusting.
I bet you thought, getting 10 in, he's
No.
quite sensible.
Well, when we made vampire characters, I was really impressed. I was like, what a great character! What
Right.
a really creative, amazing idea.
This character is not so clever, not so switched on. So let's see.
simple.
I can get my raven to send messages, cause distractions, or
Poop on people.
do stuff when I face death. I think
Okay,
I'm gonna
trust me. Having played this solo, that might come up sooner than you think.
I'm gonna take knowing. When you face death, add +2 and take one momentum on a hit. So
Okay,
I'm gonna take
sure.
that.
And that kind of says something about the character, right? Like this Raven has some sort of connection to like an omen or like your death, like it's preceded your death somehow, or maybe it's waiting for you in your death. And I think that's kind of cool. Like a lot of this is very interpretive. So okay,
Cool.
What else you got?
I have taken cutthroat. So if I wield a dagger or a knife, I do wield a dagger or a knife. That means that when I am in a position to strike an unsuspecting foe, I can do stuff, add +2 and take momentum, or inflict 2 harm.
Cool.
So
You don't need to worry about that until we make the check. But basically, it's you are an adept at using a knife. Like you've gained skills in cutting people up with knives. Basically,
That's the one that I've already taken.
So the one in the dark dot is already filled in.
So can I fill in another, or is
not
it
yet.
Once you level
Once
up.
you gain
yet.
Once we
experience.
level up.
Yeah.
Not yet. And I have got Shadow Walk. So when I cloak myself with the gossamer veil of the Shadow Realms,
Kagebunshin no Jutsu.
I roll plus Shadow, hence why I've gone for
Okay.
some extra Shadow.
Sure.
On a strong hit, take +1 momentum, then re-roll any dice. And when you make a move by ambushing, hiding, or sneaking. On a weak hit, as above, but the shadows try to lead you astray.
Yeah.
must
So there's
first
some with most of the
danger.
rituals. There's normally a like, if you fuck this up, something bad happens.
Yep.
Because that's the point of them. And I do have a table called Mystic Feedback because there are crit fails and crit successes in this, which we'll come to in a bit. Cool.
So you've made the edgelord.
He's made the
character.
edgelord.
Yes, although he's not very bright.
Nice. So I've kind of got a vague idea for the character I'm going to build. And I have gone with, my character is going to have 3 edge, so I'm going to be quite nippy and agile and quick. 1 heart, because they don't really get on well with other people. They're a bit of a loner. 2 iron, because they're used to traveling around in harsh wilderness, so not too weak, not too strong. 1 shadow. They're not really very
I don't think
sneaky.
Well, you are. They're not.
They're more bold than
Yeah.
anything else. And then 2 wits because they're used to traveling around in the wilds. And then I've kind of built my aspects around that as well. So I took the Wild Blood Path, which basically means that I'm particularly skilled in tracking woodcraft and woodland creatures. So if we're traveling around in woods, I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff, or like any kind of natural beasts. Then I took the archer combat talent. So if I wield a bow, I basically can take a moment to aim, and then I can get bonuses to it because I'm like basically like an archer sniper. And then I took the other thing I took was another path called devotant, which means that I am very religious. I need to come up with my god's name.
Okay.
And then I choose a stat, and then I can basically pray to that god to give me a temporary boost to that stat. So I can get like a little prayer that I can answer. And the kind of idea that I'm building the character around is the idea of these free wardens that kind of just patrol around and kind of help out where they can, but also kind of like a bit of a hunter and kind of maybe a guide as well, like which is why I took the wild blood, so used to like traveling through the woods and like gathering information and stuff like that. But that's also maybe why a bit of a loner.
You like your own company.
Keeps God's company and
That's all you need, the big G.
Yeah, so haven't quite decided on any of the details yet. I don't know if I'm going to be male or female or anything else, but that's the kind of vibe I'm going with. And then obviously, Kim, you're more of like a storytellery vibe.
Yeah, so I definitely have been watching The Witcher recently.
You're going to go more of a Jaskier.
Yeah, but kind of, but not. But like
Okay.
not as much of a womanizer kind of thing.
Jaskier
like,
meets Geralt.
Yeah, the love child
Yeah.
of those two.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, just Jaskier, Geralt, love baby.
That's pretty special.
Yeah, I'm a special person.
See, I'm just a wannabe assassin, edgelord who just really isn't suited to that. Really isn't suited to that vocation.
Now, I've just finished rereading Terry Pratchett's The Night Watch, and there's a crappy assassin in that.
Yeah, I think
That's like, he's got like the big skull rings, and he's got like all the fancy daggers and stuff, he's crap. Like, he's just absolutely
this
crap.
is me.
That's
Like,
you.
yeah.
This is me.
So you're a wannabe assassin, but not very good.
My mother was a great assassin. I am not,
right.
but I would like to be. But I
Okay.
would like to be.
No, I like that. So, well, that kind of leads on to two other things. So the first one is, in terms of equipment, for those at home, there's no stats for equipment or anything like that, right? It's just assumed you can have weapons as you want to, you can have armor as you want to, because it doesn't really make a difference in the mechanics. It's all about the fiction. There is a talent that lets you wear heavier armor and stuff like that, but for the most part, we can basically describe it as we want to. So if you want to be wearing dark black leathers, if you run around in like a fancy coat or whatever, it doesn't really matter. The main thing is all of us are equipped with a deadly weapon, so when we do fight something, we cause 2 harm. If you fight with things like fists or improvised weapons, it's 1 harm. But we're all using deadly weapons. So that's fine for that. And then the other one is, one of the things that we should all create is a personal vow. Now, as this is a one-shot, we're probably not going to ever get a chance to do it. But becoming a great assassin, proving that you're a great assassin, that is a personal iron vow. Something that you would swear. I don't know what mine is yet. Maybe I won't ever find out. I couldn't figure out. I'm really bad at coming up with these. But that's like a good example of a personal vow that you might swear, right? So with that, basically the only real thing left to do now is, come up with the details, so like names, kind of like getting more of a grip on everything else. And then we're going to need to start thinking about what is called, I believe it's called like the inciting incident, which is basically what is going to be the thing that's going to drive us. What's the opening quest, right?
Yeah.
If this was a movie, what's the problem that the movie opens on? Because immediately, in a minute, we're going to all swear an iron vow, which is a big part of the game, which is a mechanic. It's a roll, because you can fuck it up.
Okay.
And it's basically you're like, I swear to do this thing, and then that's going to be our first one to do. But we need to figure out what that is, and I think to do that, we need to figure out who we are, how we all know each other, and also where we are in the world. So there is a little map. You won't be able to see it very easily on here, but I've written down some of the place names and stuff like that. So I think the key things we need to figure out is who everybody is, how we know each other, and why we're going to be working together, and where we are, right? So we're going to need some sort of settlement that we all start from, I'm guessing. and then names. Now I can roll up some stuff. I've got the old random tables ready to go.
The old random generator.
Yeah, so this is all built in. So I'm using Roll20, which has got all the random tables built in, but I do also have printed copies here.
Oh.
So I mean, we could start with the basics, and maybe we create a settlement first, and then we can figure out how we're connected to it.
Okay.
Yeah, does that sound good? So let's roll a.
Give us those to like flick through, just so we can. Like,
Yeah, sure.
So we can see as well.
So.
I don't know what any of
Okay,
this means, but sure.
so I rolled up for the region that our settlement's going to start in.
Okay.
And I got the Deep Wilds, which if you look on the map, is basically like a heavily forested area, which is quite close to like the main settlement, the main sort of like kind of areas.
Wilds.
Landlocked.
So what?
Oh, this is interesting. So I'm going through on the locations one. So region was the Deep Wilds, and then I rolled location, and it came up with caravan. So maybe we're not in an actual settlement, but we're part of a caravan moving through it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the beginning of Lightfall, because that's how we all met. Was we were all on a caravan.
It's,
Literally episode
it's a
1.
classic start. You know?
Classic.
Yeah, I'm feeling this.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
I'll roll location descriptor. So grim. I could roll again to give us some more details if we want, or we could just. So it's a grim caravan. So it's kind of.
Grim
we need to. So I guess like, is grim the mood of the caravan, or is it a grim situation?
Yeah, or maybe they're all fleeing from something.
Yeah, it could
Plague.
be. That ties in. There could be a new outbreak of a plague because
yeah,
that's part of the old world history. Okay.
I think Grim works. Yeah. Grim. Fleeing plague. Fleeing new plague. Outbreak. That works.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is there going to be a point where we're on the caravan and I open my eyes and someone says like, "Oh, so you're awake now, huh?"
So you're awake now, horse thief. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I rolled up a quick settlement name because if it's a caravan, it's probably going somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And it came up with New Ridge, so that's like a place name that we could use.
So we're going there or we're leaving there?
Well, so okay, which one do we want?
I'd say.
Because then I could roll another one for the other one.
Let's roll the other one and then see what we
Okay.
think. Like.
Stormcairn.
I think we're going to New Ridge from Stormcairn.
Yeah.
Stormcairn sounds like a coast thing as well.
Yeah.
So and the Deep Wilds is so you have the ragged coast on one side of the Deep Wilds, and then the Havens. And the Havens is meant to be like the best place to live in the Ironlands. The Ironlands is a very harsh place.
Yeah.
But the Havens is like at least got green farmland and stuff like that can actually be worked.
Yeah. Maybe some
so
doctors.
we're maybe making our way on this caravan through the Deep Wilds.
Yeah.
From the ragged coast, and we're going to the Havens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Haven sounds nice.
So from Stormcairn, of course, I don't really need to write this because Kim is going to write everything down.
Yep.
To
Ted
New
is as
Ridge.
well. I'm not the only book nerd here, yo.
Okay. Now, for me, like I can already see that how my character fits into this because if it's traveling through the Deep Wilds, being a free warden and being particularly skilled at traveling through the woodland, I imagine that I've attached myself to this caravan as a I'm going to protect this caravan as it makes its way through, right? I can see that being my initial thing. But how do you guys feel about it? Like, what do you think like your connection would be? Are you just part of the caravan? Are you like?
So I imagine myself as kind of like a traveling storyteller.
Okay.
I kind of in two minds as to what my kind of overarching goal is. And one is like trying to learn as much about the monsters of this land as possible.
Okay.
So kind of like a monster, not hunter, but like, what's the word? Like a paleontologist? No, what's that for animals?
Well, like an anthropologist.
Anthropologist, yeah. Or I'm like trying to return this sword that I was given this sword by someone, and I'm trying to return it to whoever. But I need to figure out the whoever's, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe it was gifted to me for an amazing story, and I have to find like the rightful owner.
Okay. That sounds good. Yeah.
So
that
one of
sounds
those
right to
two.
me.
I don't know. Either way, I'm a traveler, so I travel around and I've joined this caravan using my gift of song.
Oh, lovely.
Those sweet notes.
Those wonderful notes.
Sweet notes. So, and I am, Stormcairn is my home. That's where I grew up, I think.
Okay.
But I am looking for my mother and for some training in the big city
Of New Ridge.
of New Ridge.
Which, it's gonna. So New Ridge. So okay. So, but and this is then a fun thing, right? By just saying in the big city, even as a joke, when I'm like, okay, New Ridge is a big settlement, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a place where people have gathered, and it's a place a lot of people want to go to. So that's a fact we can establish into the world.
So I think she's abandoned me, and she must finish my training as an assassin.
Oh, did she just tell you to stay home
Yeah.
and be a good little boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said that she wouldn't be gone long, and she never returned.
Never returned.
God,
Classic. Okay.
jeez.
So you're traveling with it. You're kind of with the caravan, and I'm part of it. So it sounds like, for the most part, we're all aboard this caravan. Now, there's another thing we could roll here, which is called, where was it? It's called like settlement trouble. So we could see that could be a thing that is currently affecting the caravan.
Yeah.
So someone is missing. So this is what could help form our inciting incident, right? We're on this caravan, traveling through the deep wilds, and someone is missing. So who could that be? And that could be something that we've gone like, okay, well, we're going to go and find them, whilst the caravan is camped, maybe. The caravan takes camp, and then someone's gone missing, and we're basically the ones who are like, we're going to swear an oath to go and try and find them or something like that. What do you think? Or we could roll again. Like, if that sounds better.
Roll again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see of the two. What
Sure.
other options there are.
Attack is imminent. That sounds more exciting.
Yeah.
It always starts with a fight, doesn't it?
I mean, that's okay, though.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I think that's a good way of also this being a one-shot. Like, we get straight into some combat.
straight into the
Yeah.
fight.
and
The movie always starts with a fight.
we can see how it plays out, right? Because let me tell you as well, this is where stuff will slowly begin to spin out of control.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're suddenly going to be on the run or whatever, right?
Yeah. It's a battle.
Okay, so, all right. I've come up with a name for my character. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have names?
No.
Do you want me to roll?
I have a name.
You have a name?
My name is Mandu.
Mandu.
Yep.
Like the Korean dumpling?
Yes.
Oh my god. We went for Korean the other day.
Literally, Ted's gone, what did I eat recently? Mandu, that was very good. Very
It's
good.
because my mother often told my father, "Man, do this. Man, do that."
Oh my god, that's amazing.
And it became a name that I was very fond of. So it's actually a nickname, but
It's a nickname, so that's not your real name, but that's what you tell everybody.
I tell everyone my name is Mandu.
Amazing. Oh my god, that's
Okay.
really good.
Nice.
What else did we have for that Korean place?
You can't use that as well. That's Ted's thing now.
Bachman. No, fine. Where else did we go for food recently? We went for pizza, didn't we? Oh no, I could call myself Wing. Yeah.
Spicy chicken nugget.
Spicy chicken nuggets, that's mine.
Why do you hate me?
Be serious.
Why do you hate me?
They're not even on sale anymore. Can you roll for me, please?
Sure. Would you like an Ironlander name, an elf name, a giant name, a Varu name, or a troll name?
What's a Varu?
Varu are wolf people. They're literally like big furry men and women. Like classic furry art men and women.
Yep. That sounds
I'll
like
roll one for you.
Yeah, roll me a Varu name.
Kiha. K-E-H-A.
I hate it.
Okay. How about Kavata?
I hate these. These are horrible. I hate them. Give me an Ironlander name.
Serene.
Serene. I'm not very serene.
Mortar.
Mortar.
Yeah, like brick and mortar.
Yeah, like bricks and mortar.
Mortimer. You could take like something
Mortimer.
for it and like build upon that.
What's like a good bardy name? Like
Mortimer.
Mortimer. I mean, I'm just building a house. Loot.
Catcher.
Catcher.
My name begins with a K. It's given me a lot of Ks. Vigo. Vigo the Carpathian.
Yeah, I'm going with that. I'm Vigo. I am Vigo.
I am Vigo. He's a Vigo. Sure. All right. Okay. So Vigo the Bard.
Vigo the Bard.
You can put it up here in your character name bit.
Vigo.
He is Vigo.
Oh, dear.
Perfect. Okay. And then I rolled this one, Katrin, and then I rolled up a settlement name called Duskborn. So Katrin Duskborn, or just Katrin. I kind of think like maybe she'd have like a nickname like Katrin the Cruel or Katrin the Quiet or something like that because she's kind of a bit. I'm thinking like slightly older, like maybe like late 30s, kind of like early 40s, bit grizzled. Doesn't really talk much.
Yeah.
Keeps to herself. Pretty gruff. Cool. All right.
Vigo.
So with that. We can start to set the scene. Do you guys want me to do that, or do one of you want to set the scene?
Do you know what? Ted's dream has always been for you to DM him.
Okay.
So, like, I know this isn't like a really DM
No, I can
thing,
set the scene.
Like...
I can set the scene. It's fine. Let me just check
My
in.
dream is coming true.
For fuck's sake. You guys, every time. Cool. 3. God, hang on. I'm trying to.
I'm Vigo the Voracious?
Carpathian.
No.
The Carpathian.
No, not the Carpathian.
He was a bad guy.
No, he was bad.
You can
I don't think he could sing.
come up with a fun thing.
Vigo the Voracious, because I like eating.
Voracious.
Yeah.
Is he quite
Voracious
big?
Vigo. Well, I kind of imagined a woman at first, but now I do kind of want to be like.
Play a dude.
Yeah, I want to be a dude. I'm going to be a dude.
Sure.
I'm going to be Vigo the Voracious. Voracious Vigo, because I love eating.
Love eating.
So it's like, I imagine like Volstagg the Voluminous from Marvel.
Yeah.
Volstagg the Voluminous.
Vigo the Voracious. I can't spell voracious, but there we go.
Okay. All right. So when you create your inciting incident, it's a problem which arrives at the beginning of a story, propelling the protagonists into action. Everything up to that point is backstory, the normal world to which your character has been accustomed to. Right. So we're going to need to make it personal. I mean, we're about to be attacked. I think that's pretty personal. Make it a problem that won't go away on its own.
Well, yeah.
Give it a ticking clock. Make it universal, and then basically we're going to set it up. So. I think the way that this goes down is because it's an attack is imminent. It doesn't mean we're under attack right away. So the caravan, a very grim, dour faces across all the Ironlanders who are traveling on the caravan, fleeing from Stormcairn. Maybe a couple of them are coughing, and everybody's looking suspiciously about what do we do about these people.
Topical.
As the caravan winds its way through these really narrow trails through this dark, kind of ominous forest with these kind of like clawed branches overhead. Very much a place that you don't want to wander around in too much or for too long. The caravan has a few guards and travelers, all armed. You know, this is the Ironlands. But as we're making through, everybody begins camping for the night. And one of the scouts, you hear some commotion in the woods as the kind of roaring campfire, the crackling of the wood. Everyone's kind of huddled around as the caravans have been circled in this open clearing, whatever space they can find. A scout comes rushing back, kind of partially covered in blood, scratches up and down their faces. Who is attacking? What is the thing that's attacking? Is this beasts? Because we are in the deep wilds.
Yeah, I think monsters, like especially if it's nighttime and we're in a kind of pretty wild area. So I'm imagining big, horrible, giant spiders, but instead of like, so they've got spider legs, like big old hairy spider legs, but in the center is like deformed, horrible humanoid figures.
So like creepy driders, basically.
Yeah.
So like a humanoid torso, but like kind of like spidery face.
Yeah, like that horrible, like harsh spider bristles.
Okay.
And eyes everywhere. Just eyes on every.
Just eyes.
Horrible.
Just lots of, yeah.
Okay.
I'm petrified already.
So the scout comes rushing back, reporting to various people amongst the caravan, and it's just like, spiders in the woods. They're coming out of everywhere. There's a whole nest of them nearby. They're swarming out in the shadows. And the leader of this caravan, who we can... Do you guys have any ideas for a caravan leader? Or should I roll something up?
Ted, you got anything?
Elric.
Okay. And the first thing I rolled was young, and then I got wounded. So Elric who's going to be the caravan master, a young man with big ambitions, wants to kind of be known as being able to take these treks through dangerous parts of the land. But you can see that he's clearly been fighting recently or something like that. Like maybe has like his sword arm is all splintered up or something like that. And he quickly begins organizing the defense, like kind of calling out for people to arm themselves. And then he puts out a call. He's like, anyone, I need people who are brave enough to go out into the woods. We need to find their nest and burn it. And begins calling out for like volunteers. And then because this is an RPG, the three of us are gonna volunteer ourselves because that's what we have to do. So he kind of gathers them up and he's like, here, take this pitch. And he kind of gives us like canisters of torch pitch and things like that. Maybe like a tinder box and things like that. He's like, the nest is out there in the woods somewhere. Catherine, I know that you'll be able to find it in this kind of circumstances. What was your name again? Mandu.
Mandu, sir.
Mandu, you're quiet, right? You can sneak around. I've
certainly.
People have seen you scooping around.
I've spent my whole childhood sneaking around and definitely not stealing things, but...
Well, the two of you can definitely find their nest, burn it to the ground. It should hopefully prevent more of them from coming towards us and draw them away. And then he points down at the sword. If you're carrying that means you know how to use it, yes?
For a price.
Well, the price is that you don't get murdered by spiders. But yes, I will make sure that you see some sort of compensation once we reach New Ridge.
My compensation is merely a tail.
Even better. If I can get it for not paying anything, fine. Go with them, protect them.
Why didn't I ask for something?
Well,
I should have asked for
always
something.
ask first.
I should have asked for something.
Always ask for compensation first.
Katrin just laughs. There's like a like from the back. But he as he kind of hands it over, he holds out probably like a knife or something like that, and he's just like, now for each of you, a vow. Yes, you'll see this done before dawn.
Yes.
You have my word.
The answer is yes.
I've not chosen the most honourable character. Really.
That's fine. You swearing an iron vow in the world of Ironland is just your way of fomenting I'm going to do this thing.
This is our quest. Quest accepted.
Basically,
Okay,
yes. It's a religious and also cultural thing that you swear an iron vow. Because also, it's a mechanic of the game.
So you kind of gotta do it.
You kind of got to do it. So, on the move sheet, which I think Ted's got over there,
oh, yes.
there is one called Swear an Iron Vow. It's on the last page, quest moves.
I vow to thee, my caravan leader, I will protect you from death.
And spiders. So we're each going to make this vow. Now, technically, we could make this as a group, or we could do this individually. Mm-hmm. I'm happy for either. It's you guys' first time playing, so you guys pick. We could either do this as a group vow, which in case only one person needs to roll, or we could each make individual vows. But I think that in this circumstance, I think a group one makes the most sense.
Yeah, okay. Let's do a group one.
So now, and this is where we get to kind of choose this. So when you swear an iron vow, when you swear upon iron to complete a quest, write your vow and give the quest a rank. Then roll plus heart. If you make this vow to a person or community with whom you share a bond, add +1. We didn't do our bonds because it's a one-shot. I don't think any of us are particularly connected to Elric or this caravan. You sound like you've got a bond in Stormcairn, but that's a bit different.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a little bit separately. Mine's probably to be wardens as well.
Yeah.
Now, we can choose who does that, and we know that Vigo has the best heart. So I think it makes sense for Vigo to roll it, right? Mm-hmm. So you're the one who's swearing it for us.
Okay.
In terms of giving it a rank, now this being our kind of initial quest, if you write down on here, Ted, we'll write the vow here rather than individually. So the quest is to burn the spider's nest before dawn. That's our vow.
To burn the spider's nest before dawn.
Mm-hmm. And then in terms of rank, we won't go too crazy. We'll make this a dangerous quest. It's not formidable, but it is dangerous.
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 So what that means is by setting it a rank, that determines how easy it is for us to complete. So whenever we reach a milestone, which is up to us, we decide what a milestone is, and we can probably write those steps out now. When we reach it, we get to mark 2 progress towards that quest. Now, at any point, we can decide to try and finish the quest, where we roll against the amount of progress we've made. But we need to try and build up some progress before we do that. We're just going to fail it. And if we fail it, we fucked up well bad. Right? So I think that the most obvious kind of like steps for this quest is we need to make our way through the woods, like get through the woods. Get through woods.
Find the nest.
Find the nest. I think, is that like the same one, do you reckon, or is that a separate one?
I guess it's just a bit more specific, isn't it? Because
Yeah, I think it's the same one.
We can make our way through the woods, but it's like, where are we going?
We're going to find the nest.
Yeah.
Okay, so find the nest. And then sneak in.
Yeah.
Or like at least
Or distract,
gain
like,
access.
yeah.
So that could be fighting our way through it or whatever. Or it could be sneaking in. Set the pitch or like set the place alight. And then get out.
Get out, yeah.
Excellent.
So there's 4 steps. And then we can also add extra milestones if we feel that we've reached them, right? So a milestone is when you make significant progress in your quest. So there might be things that come up unexpectedly that we think, well, actually, that's going to help us in our thing. But I think that gives us like a clear idea of what to do.
Yep.
Right, so first dice roll. Kimberly. So the way this works is you roll a d6. Now for the first roll, we're going to do this separately, but in the future, we'll try and speed it up. So roll the d6 and add your heart score, which is 3. Try and get it in the actual thing. Get it in here.
Come on.
Also, we'll wait for Sid to switch up. There we go.
Trot. Okay, here we go. 2 plus 3, so
So
that's
5.
5.
So 5 is the action die score. Now you're going to roll 2d10s. We want to get 5 or under.
Oh, geez. That sucks.
I think. Let me check because it has been a while since I've played it.
That stat sucks.
Well, you did roll a 2 on a d6.
That was a great roll.
Do you want to try any better, son?
I would
the
do,
action
but
score.
it is done now.
Roll that.
No, we want it to be.
For any, like, just roll it.
Yeah, we want it to be under. You want it to be. Yeah. I'm just trying to find out. I can't remember which way a tie counts. So 2d10s, and if you get the same number on both dice, that basically makes it a crit hit or a crit fail, which introduces a twist.
Ooh.
A 4 and a 9.
Well, a 4 is less than a 5. A 9 is not. So what that means is it's a weak hit. If both numbers are under, it's a strong hit. If one is under, it's a weak hit. And if both are over, it's a miss. So there's only really 3 results that you can ever get out of this. Okay. Now, Ted, when you read out under the swear and vow, what do you get on a weak hit?
On a weak hit, you're determined, but begin your quest with more questions than answers. Take +1 momentum and envision what you do to find a path forward.
Okay, so unless it says otherwise, only the person who makes the roll gets the effects. Ooh. So in this case, only Vigo gets the +1 momentum. Because Vigo is the one who you... And Kim, what does this look like? Like, normally it's customary to hold the iron or touch the iron when you swear the vow. Okay. What does it look like? And you feel free to describe everyone, like Elric and...
So is Elric holding, like, a sword out? Okay.
Up to you.
So I imagine that I would take out my rarest of swords, and it's quite a fine blade. It's got runes down it. It's got like one of those kind of fancy fencing handles, like a
basket hilt.
A basket hilt.
So it's really, quite rare, really.
Yeah,
it looks very unusual.
Yeah, very unusual. And I will hold it out in front of Elric. So he can touch it as well, and then I'll get you two to touch it too. And I guess, I'll burst into song.
So you sing a song to swear the vow?
To swear the vow.
Sure. You don't have to sing.
I swear to thee, we'll find the spider's nest and put them all to rest.
Okay. How does and because we know the result of the thing, so you sing the song. How does that manifest in the weak hit? Is it that there's uncertainty there? Is it that Elric is surprised by the unusual way of doing it?
A bum note somewhere.
Wow!
Her voice cracks.
Well, it doesn't have to be. It could be that you sing very clearly, but you're like, I don't know what the
Yeah, I think I'm definitely faking it till I'm making it.
Sure.
So I think you two would probably pick up that I'm just like, I have no idea where to start.
Okay.
I don't like spiders.
It is dark. I was literally just eating my dinner, and I'm very food motivated. You've noticed in the days like traveling on the caravan.
You're a big boy.
I'm always around food. Food is near me, not for very long, but like I was literally in the middle of my supper, and I'm kind of annoyed that I had to put my turkey leg down.
Okay. Chunky boy hungry.
Yeah.
It's hangry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am hangry. I am very hangry.
Okay. So we now have what we're going to do. So the next steps is, so we have more questions than answers. So, and I guess for me, now normally it says that like when you're unsure, you can ask the oracle, which is like consult the tables. But I think that it's pretty obvious, right? We don't know where the fuck this nest is. Like, how are we going to find it? That to me is the most immediate problem we need to solve.
I think I'm just gonna like caught in the moment of the performance because Vigo loves to perform.
Okay.
It's voracious.
Okay.
And I'm faking it till I'm making it. So I'm just gonna, and also I'm desperate to get back to my turkey leg. So as soon as the vow is done, I imagine the sword kind of glimmers and glows, and like because it's like it knows a vow is being made.
Sure.
And the strength of the glow determines on like how big the vow is. So because this is just like it's not.
Yeah.
It's a mild glow. Yeah. But as soon as the glow, it'll go over both of you two because you're part of the vow as well. And as soon as it fades, I'll be like, this way, and then just stride confidently in a direction.
Okay.
Probably where the streaming was coming from, where the scout ran in from.
So you used to start leading us down that way.
Yeah.
Well, I know Katrin would kind of look at Mandu, roll her eyes a little bit.
I am absolutely sure this is going to be just fine, don't worry.
Sure.
She has the look of somebody who has been around a bit. I'm sure she can lead the way to the spider's nest.
Come,
Can't you?
my little
Can't you?
urchins, come with me into the darkness. I'm already walking off.
So,
Into
it's him, isn't it? For
him,
Vigo?
yeah, I'll go him, yeah.
So I think we begin following, but I think for me, Katrin very quickly will kind of look around and skip up towards Vigo and just put a hand on the shoulder and just be like, let me take care of this. And because I want to like start searching the area for signs of these spiders.
How long have we been traveling for? Like, do you think? Do we know
like,
each other?
Like what? It's up to us. Like a couple of days, a few days.
Okay, so I guess I probably am a good person reader, so I'll still be striding, but I'll just be like, thank you, didn't know where I was going, take point please, and I'll just very subtly start slowing down.
Okay, nice.
Mandu is young, naive, and will follow whoever looks the most confident. Is like,
Okay.
You look like you know where you're going now.
Okay.
It did used to be you, but no, I think I'm going to follow
Nonsense,
you.
dear boy, nonsense. I always know where I'm going.
Right. Katrin's going to still go into the woods. So for you guys' information, if you ever want to support somebody in a role, you can do something called Aid an Ally, which is basically you make the secure and advantage move, but whatever result you get either applies to the person you're trying to help if it's good, or both of you if it's bad.
Okay.
So it's kind of risky, but it's a way that you can give somebody a boost to a role. So for example, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, if Mandu was like, well, I'm going to try and scout ahead and be sneaky, to try and like help you, figure out where they're coming from and stuff like that. That would be an example of it.
Okay.
Or vice versa, like if I was trying to aid you being sneaky somewhere, I could do something like, well, I'm going to go cause a distraction by doing this. I'd make the move and then it gives you a bonus on your roll. Yeah. But for the purposes, I am going to make a move called Gather Information, which is when you search an area, ask questions, conduct an investigation, or follow a track. I roll plus wits, but because I am wild-blooded, and we are in woodland, I get a +1. So I get an extra +1 to my action die roll. So this is, I'm adding 3 to this. Great. That's a 1. I hate these dice. Now I roll the 2d10s, and I got to try and get, it's I believe that is...
So you rolled a 1, and then what was that?
I +3, so it became a 4.
4.
So one tie and one...
Well, I just want to check which one is around... Well, the 2 will definitely be a success.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find out if the tie is the same. You want it to be greater than the value of those dice. So 4 is not greater, it's the same. So I think it counts. We might be getting that wrong. But I think that's a strong hit because it's the same as and then under. So I think that's actually a strong hit. Which on a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn, ask the oracle if unsure, and take +2 momentum. So So I'm going to go up to +4 momentum. And I think that the most obvious thing there is, catching and searching around, finding maybe traces where spiders have come through, maybe a blood trail of some scout that got pulled off, and it's just it's this way. We need to go in this direction, and a very clear path towards the nest is made. Right? Does that seem normal?
I think so.
But to get there, do we think that this is short distance away, or is this going to take a journey? Are we going to have to travel to get there?
Well, I feel it depends how long that scout was out for.
So we want to try and get this done overnight, I think.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we
So it's
want
close
to do
enough
this.
by?
I think it's close enough, to maybe be a couple of hours away.
Okay. So I don't think we need to undertake a journey for that.
Yeah.
No.
Do we want to try and move quietly, or are we just booking it straight there?
So I think that we want to try and get it within sight of it, but then scout, because I've got my sneakiness skills. So once we get within sight, that's the point at which I'll probably, try and figure out where the best place to kind of approach it from is.
Okay, cool. All right. In that case, I think that is going to be, from what we're talking about, I think that's just progress. I think that's we know where we're going. We're going to follow the route, but until we get there, we're not really under any immediate threat.
Yeah.
Right? We're trying to preempt this attack we know that there are spiders in the woods. We're going to try and burn them down before they can attack the caravan.
Yeah.
So I think we can just mark progress.
Yeah.
Which for us is 2 boxes ticked off. So on our quest, we can just mark 2 boxes. So, okay, so Ted, why don't you take the lead on this? So we arrive on the outskirts, because this is what you wanted, that we get there, but we're going to kind of slow down as we approach to where we think this nest is hidden.
So obviously, as we approach, we can start hearing the kind of skittering noises of the spiders, and we can't see anything ahead of us. But as we look upwards, we can see that the spiders are, skittering up and down trees and building webs between trees.
These kind of mutated bodies of these long, hairy spider legs, but then these kind of deformed human.
Exactly, and these are not quiet spiders. These are big, man-sized spiders. So we can hear this from quite some way away.
Okay.
So once we start hearing them, that's the point at which we say, well, we need to stop.
So Mandu kind of is kind of holds the hands up.
So at that point, I think I just need to, I shush everyone. Spiders have got excellent night hearing.
Sure.
That's a thing, night hearing.
Yep, night hearing. Absolutely.
Is it stronger than daytime hearing?
It's kind of like night vision, but it's for hearing.
Maybe a bat, it's they see sound.
I think
like
that's
radar.
perfect. Exactly. So
it's like sonar. Yeah.
They have some kind of bat skill that allows them to.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Sure. So they have echolocation.
Yeah.
Echolocation spiders. Sure.
Fuck's sake, these are horrible.
They got giant bat ears on their weird faces. Yeah, sure.
And obviously their eyes everywhere means that we don't want to get too close. They can see us. They can see us.
So Mandu brings us all to a quiet halt nearby. Yep.
So this is the point where I say, shh, let's just wait here a second.
Okay.
I think we need to find a better way through. They can't have their eyes on every single entrance to their nest. I need to find out where the best place for us to approach from is.
Okay.
So this is the point where I'm just going to scout around the circumference of their nest, or their
and try and
where they're
figure out exactly
figure out the best place of entering.
Perfect. I think that, to me, that makes most sense. That's a secure and advantage move, right?
Yep.
I think that makes most sense. So with this, it says when you assess a situation, make preparations, or attempt to gain leverage, envision your action and roll. If you act, and then it's got basically one for each stat, with speed and agility or precision, edge. With charm, loyalty, or courage, roll with heart. With aggressive action, forceful defense, strength, or endurance, roll with iron. With deception, stealth, or trickery, roll with shadow. With expertise, insight, or observation, roll wits. So what do you think you're trying to go for there?
Right, so I'm definitely going to use my
Stealth?
shadow, yeah.
I think that makes the most sense for Mandu. He's sneaking around. He's not trying to use any particular skill apart from just being quiet and looking around, I think. So, yeah. So that's going to be a secure and advantage. So you're going to roll the d6, one of the d6s.
Yep.
Throw it in here. And then you're going to add your shadow. So 5 plus 3 So that's 8. Now you're going to get 2 d10s. You can use those ones if you like. And then we're looking for 8s and under, basically.
6 and a 9.
6 and a 9.
That's 2 9s. Yeah, 6 and a 9.
Yeah, I think that is.
sorry.
I recognise a
6,
6
yeah.
and a 9 when I see them.
So that is a weak hit. So there's one above the target number and then one below.
So that's a weak hit.
Your advantage is short-lived, so you get +1 momentum.
So it's +1 momentum. So
But it's
I am-
short-lived, so you're sneaking around. So what does that mean?
So I think let me just envision.
No, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
this in this game, and it's like if you've got an idea, Kim, this
Yeah,
is like
yeah,
we
yeah.
can jump in and be like, why is it
So
short-lived?
I think it's, well, you go first.
Well, I was going to say that I make my way halfway around, and I think I've seen something that has, I think I've seen a path through into the heart of the nest.
Yeah.
But then, as I'm halfway around, I can see that they've realised that something's up.
Okay, so like I like the idea that like Mandu kind of crawling through, and what does Mandu look like? Like, give us like a visual description.
He is quite tall and slender. He is wearing crushed velvet.
Okay.
Crushed velvet doesn't make any noise. But the problem is that he's forgotten to take his coins out of his pocket.
So there's
So
like a
he's
slight
there.
jangling as he moves through.
Creeping through the undergrowth of the trees.
So most of them haven't seen you, either predisposed or whatever
Yeah.
like that. So they're kind of like, but as you get close, this kind of soft jingling, and you see, for me, I imagine it like, it's like all these woven brambles, right, that formed like a hive amongst all the trees that kind of spirals up. It's kind of like wicker, weird, brambly hive full of like cocoons and webs and shit.
And you can see that there are things which have been bound up in web, and
Like their
which
prey.
are exactly the semi-decomposed and semi-digested remains of. You can see that there's some animals in there, but also I'm pretty sure I can see some humans like bound up in the branches.
That's an interesting detail, because if we fuck up and we get like a twist, that could maybe be like there's
We're
people
going
alive
in
in
the
there or something like that,
cocoons.
or we could end up in them. But as Manchu is looking, I imagine one of these things kind of crawling down a tree and just looming over him. And you're not surprised, you didn't flub the roll, so they've noticed you and they're going to attack. Is that the kind of vibe that you're going for? They're going to try and ambush you?
I think they've realised that there are humans nearby.
Right, okay.
So they haven't spotted me.
Right.
But they're on guard now.
They're now
and
on guard.
I'm obviously
know
on
something's
the other
there.
side of the nest.
Okay.
You guys.
And you're now separated to us, yeah. So
Split the party.
So what happens with Vigo and Katrin? Because I kind of see it that like we see them begin to act differently, and there's this like, I think the boy's been found. I think they found the boy.
We could just leave him.
You guys can hear the jangle of my coins from
Ching,
50
ching,
yards
ching,
away. And
I would have thought he would have taken those out, but I
Yes,
guess
he's not very effective, is he?
not.
Still, he's young. He'll learn if he survives.
I'm trying to think what we could do here.
I could tell the spiders a story.
Well, I think that what Katrin's probably going to do is, having sense that they're alert, but maybe not knowing if they've really found him or not, but maybe they're being lured away, like, because they've heard him, they've all scuttered over to one side. I could try and make a run for it.
What,
So-
to distract them?
so as
I mean, like, I could either distract them or just fucking book it towards the thing.
as I made my way around, I signalled to the spot that we needed to make for.
Mm-hmm.
So mouthing.
But we can see them all, like, converging around your area.
He's gesturing about something. We really probably should have organised signals before this. Like,
Probably would have been wise.
I'm guessing he's saying that there's a thing.
We didn't
there.
expect him to carry his coins,
No.
did we?
Well, what if you run for the thing? I could do a distraction.
All right, give me a moment. And then I think Katrin's going to kind of like kneel down and get some of the dirt in her hands and kind of like rub it between her hands. And you hear her kind of like whispering an old prayer. I'm going to use my devotant. So I'm going to reach out. Now I need a name for like a good like woodland god, I imagine. Some sort of like woody... like old. What sounds like a cool name for like an old god?
Moss elk, elk beard, moss beard, moss elk beard.
What is with the beard?
Moss fungus.
How about something like Father Oak or something like that? That's kind of like
Yeah.
I like that.
The witch elm.
Father Oak.
Father oak beard. Oak, ivy, tree beard. Tree beard, woody, wood.
I imagine that his thing. I actually imagine it's actually wits rather than edge.
Oh dear.
So I'm going to, ignoring Kim's madness that's descended upon her, I'm going to make a secure and advantage roll, which is me making a preparation to try and get a better sense of what, like, the surroundings and things like that. So I'm going to make a secure the advantage roll. So this is with wit, so +2.
So there's
Fuck
this
this
thing.
dice. Fuck this dice. When I play, I suck at rolling dice.
Yeah. So when he's rolling to kill us, he rolls really,
that's
really
really
well.
bad.
But when he rolls like for us, he rolls like he.
That's 2 failures.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a miss. You fail or your assumptions betray you. Pay the price. So this is a thing. Normally when you fail, there is a move called a fate move called pay the price. When you suffer the outcome of a move, choose one. You make the most obvious negative outcome happen. Envision 2 negative outcomes, rate one as likely, and then you can roll to see which one comes up. There is a table of things that can happen.
Okay.
I kind of want to roll because it'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm up for a roll.
All right, sure, let's roll. So this is a D100 roll. I can't.
It's 58.
58. It causes a delay or puts you at a disadvantage. Okay, so that makes the most sense. I think, like, I'm fucking about with, like, dirt and, like, whispering prayers. Meanwhile, these spiders are closing in on man.
I am looking over at you going,
I'm just like,
I'm probably not helping by going, hey, Katrin, Katrin, the boys in trouble. Katrin, they're really like in trouble. Like they're really getting quite close. Katrin, Katrin.
what are you doing? So I'm fucking around. So these things are basically nearly on you. What are you gonna do? And I think this, and then whatever you do, they're gonna attack. That to me is like we fucked around that they're gonna find you if we don't do something.
yeah.
I think it's just because I don't quite know like how good my character is combat really.
How good does he think he is?
Yeah.
That's the question.
I kind of feel like he just burst into song. Like his panic reflex would be to start singing or recanting a tale.
Okay. To what end? To distract them?
Yeah, to distract them.
sure.
So I'm just going to start walking forward and be like, my dear spider folk. And I'm going to pose. And I've got a little cape that I'm going to flick over my shoulder.
Of course you do.
Have you heard the tale?
Right. Okay. So I think the most okay. So there's 2 moves here. One is called face danger. When you attempt something risky or react to an imminent threat, I think that applies. Because I don't really think you're trying to assess the situation, make preparations, or gain leverage.
No.
I didn't realise those were options. I just panicked.
I know, but I think what you're doing is you are attempting something risky. That sounds
that
right.
would be it.
Now, again, you choose here. Are you trying to do it with speed, agility, or precision? No.
No.
Are you trying to do it with charm, loyalty, or courage? It's pretty
charm.
brave.
Yeah.
Charm and courage.
Well, I think it's more than it's brave. I don't know if you
Okay.
can charm these spiders.
Maybe I do.
Maybe you do.
Maybe I'm the monster talker.
Sure, maybe. Well, tell you what, roll heart. So D6 plus your heart.
D6 plus 1. Come on, Daisu. 5 plus
3.
3 is
So 8.
8.
Now you roll the D10s, and you need to get both under 8. Or you can use those ones, I don't care.
Oh.
That's a 9 and a 3. This is where the dice, like, you think, like, I've got an 8, that's easy. Fuck!
Right.
So, on a weak hit, go on, Ted, you read this out.
For what was it that we were?
Face danger, it's on the
Face
first page.
danger. On a weak hit, you succeed, but face a troublesome cost. Choose one. You are delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger. You are tired or hurt. You are dispirited or afraid, or you sacrifice resources.
Ooh,
So you've succeeded what you're trying to do. You've lured them away from
Yeah.
Mandu.
Mandu.
Yeah.
who was being set upon, but now all of these spiders are like, and they're coming. They are coming for you, son.
So I can.
So you choose one. You can either be delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger, which is you lose momentum. You are tired or hurt. You have to roll to endure harm.
Okay.
You are dispirited or afraid.
I think
Sounds pretty kind of likely.
Wet myself, yeah.
Sure. Or you sacrifice resources. Well, it sounds like you want to do the endure stress.
Yeah,
one.
or I could imagine I'm throw some food to distract them.
You could do. You could throw our valuable supplies away that we have
I'm
to
gonna,
share.
I'm going to.
No,
get
you do what
stressed.
you think you want to
I'm
do.
gonna. What am I gonna do?
You are dispirited or afraid.
Endure stress.
I am going to wet myself.
Okay, so this is another move.
Okay.
So the way this works is when you face mental shock or despair, suffer minus spirit equal to your foe's rank or as appropriate to the situation, which is -1.
Okay.
So you lose 1 spirit, so you go down to +4.
Where's the razor?
It's here. After that, your spirit, if your spirit is 0, you have to do another thing, but you're not. Then you either roll plus spirit or plus heart, whichever is higher. So your spirit is currently +4, your heart's 3, so you'd roll plus spirit. So it's the same thing that we've been doing before, d6 plus your spirit value, which is 4.
1 + 4 is
5. Now you roll 2 d10s, and you're seeing which kind of hit you get.
1 and a 1.
Now that, not only is that a double success, a strong hit, but that's a match. So matches are critical hits, and if you succeed, basically a match, you introduce some sort of twist to the narrative, and in this case, it would be a positive twist, potentially. Now, we can roll up some stuff, potentially, for that, but on a strong hit, you choose one. You either shake it off. If your spirit is greater than 0, suffer -1 momentum in exchange for +1 spirit, so you could go back up to +5 by losing a momentum, or you can embrace the darkness and you just take +1 momentum. So you kind of like, you piss yourself, but you're like, it spurs you to further action.
So I imagine like if you, I'm recanting this tale.
Vigo,
that I
this
just,
very large barge
yeah,
with a cape.
with a cape that I've just thrown
The big
over. I've
gut.
assumed the position. And I've started telling them the tale of, I'm not going to say it, the wise is in there, Plagueis the Wise, and it involves spiders, and it's a grand tale about spiders.
Defeat of spiders.
No, they come together and they forge a new life, and they show that spiders can live at peace with the humans. And it's a cautionary tale. It also involves a little spider romance, a little spider and human romance in it.
Sure.
And initially, as the creatures start coming towards me, they're terrifying, they're hideous, they've got lots of eyes. And I think, oh God, there's a lot of eyes on me. There's a lot of eyes on me. And little pea comes out, but as the pea comes out, I go, there's a lot of eyes on me. This is wonderful. I have an enraptured audience.
So what, you get louder?
Fantastic. So I get louder, I get more into my story.
Okay.
And I'd like to think that they're enraptured.
Okay, so for that, would you like to gain +1 momentum or spend a momentum and recover some spirit?
I think recover some spirit.
So you lose you go back down to +2, but then you go back up to +5 spirit.
So I feel like I'm
Okay.
emboldened by.
And then for your match, I did a roll on one of the random tables is called action, and it's just literally keywords.
Yeah.
The first one that comes up was leave. So I like the idea that as you're kind of bellowing this story and just boldly striding through, the spiders and like the piss starts coming out. The spiders are just confused. And just are like scuttling around, and something about the smell is like they find off-putting.
I think that's the thing. The smell, like,
and they just they back off, like unsure what to do. It's not going to like stop them attacking us.
Okay.
But for the moment, you're safe.
So at this point, I am going to quickly run back and just rejoin you guys because they have backed off, kind of enclosed around their nest somewhat.
Yeah.
And the path is free for me to kind of like come back and say, whew, that was close. Can you believe?
I finish like rubbing dirt on my face, and I'm just like, I actually can't believe that. What is he doing? I just point to Vigo as you're like, blah, blah, blah.
Did you see her?
Him.
Him.
Did you see him? Sorry, it's hard to tell sometimes.
It's the long flowing hair. It really throws you off sometimes.
Long flowing hair and a
was
big
incredible.
lumberjack beard.
Big lumberjack
Big
beard.
lumberjack beard,
With a
yeah.
big kind of like beer belly. And like, I've got the visual.
And it's like, right, I've seen the way through.
let's make our way.
There is a path that leads right through to the center of the nest, and that will be the best place to
All right, let's
set
go.
our fires.
So while they're backing away from Vigo, let's make our move. And I think so we make our way towards the entrance, right? So I think that counts as it's not really sneaking, but we have gained access, so we can mark 2 more progress on the
I'd
sheet.
like to think as well, as there's a little breeze, you can actually smell the wee. It's quite strong.
If you had flubbed this roll, they would have torn you apart. Like they would have just been like, absolutely.
But they are enraptured by my wonderful performance and my tales
Absolutely.
of spider princesses.
Tell you what, though, like that is quite some stench. That really does.
You should see a herbalist or something when we get to New Ridge. That is not a natural stench for a urine.
Maybe it's like I'm marking my territory, so they're confused.
I think it's just like it's just like so much food and like fat, and it's just like
Ale.
Oh, it's just bad. It's just a stinky
I don't drink a lot of
pee.
water. Like no.
Oh god, dehydrated yellow. Ugh.
Solid yellow.
Nice. Right. So we've gained access. So I guess now like we basically want to like set this stuff alight, right?
Yeah.
And then we need to get out. But they're still out there. They've not backed off. We've not fought them. So we've now made our way into the nest, where I imagine there's more of them. So what happens now? What do we think is the next steps as Vigo finishes and runs back, hoisting up his?
Oh, I can keep going.
Okay,
like, I
well,
can
sure.
Like I can
You're just
spin this.
still
I'm
continuing.
in my element. Like
Okay.
the eyes. They got 8 eyes each, and they're all on me. I'm loving this.
So I think what we need to do is the person who is most combat adept
Right.
needs to be holding them off, or the 2 people who are most combat adept.
Yeah, because they would see us like beginning to set this pitch alight and stuff,
Yeah.
and then they're going to attack the second that we try and set fire.
So I think one of us will be setting the fire, while the other 2 are standing guard.
Okay.
So
All right, well, Katrin, I think, would definitely pull out her bow and basically get the arrows ready, kind of put some in the ground and get ready to take aim, basically.
all right, both of us are pretty combat. Well, I think I have my blade, and I've got fairly good agility with it.
Yep.
So I am also going to draw my blade
Okay.
in readiness for the battle ahead.
So we kind of hand the pitch and the tinderbox to Vigo. Set fire to the place.
So if I'm in the center of these enraptured spiders, are you guys going to
So
try
the way
and
I
are you
imagine
coming
it,
with
right?
me?
The way I imagine it is, as a group, the 3 of us have moved towards their
Right.
nest while you're just
Yeah.
continuing this thing, and they're kind of keeping back because they're not quite sure what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
But the second that we begin, so we're at the kind of entrance
Yeah,
to this
yeah.
nest. We've moved our way in. The second that we set fire, they're going to rush us. Like
Okay.
they're going to try and, as soon as they see what we're doing,
So how
they're
about
going to attack us.
as part of my performance?
Right.
Like you guys are whispering beside me, very distracting, very distracting.
Right, okay,
But
sure.
you can like pass the pitch and the tinder to me, and
Uh-huh.
as part of my performance, I can be, and thus the great flame arose, and then I
Okay.
can like almost like throw the pitch in as part of my.
So you want to try and basically make it look like
It's part of the show.
to these spider people.
Yeah. Or would you rather like do it
No,
yourself?
I'm happy
Like-
with you to do whatever you want to try and do. Because I know what kind of role I think this would be.
I am not sure this is going to succeed.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
But I think the most important thing is we get this fire set.
Okay.
So if you want to
Sure.
set this fire,
Well, I think
with
that we're giving it to
flamboyance-
Vigo, right? It's Vigo's call what he does
Yeah.
with it. So I've got like my bow at the ready. I'm ready to fight. So we could, in theory, Mandu and Katrin could make secure advantage rolls each. And then that's like helping us prepare. So that can be different
So-
things like trying to get arrows in the way and stuff.
I've got this story, Weaver. When you secure an advantage, compel, or forge a bond by sharing an inspiring or enlightening song, poem, or tale, envision the story you tell, then add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit.
Right, okay.
So I feel like I'm telling a lit story here, right?
So basically, yeah, you would have got that when you did your last one, when you got the strong hit, you would have gained a +1 momentum for that. So
Okay.
you're actually going to be on +3.
Okay.
The next roll, We'll see. I have an idea. I'll see what you think about for your role, what it is. But I think me and you should make secure advantage rolls to represent us getting ready, right? So I'll do mine first. I'm actually just going to roll all the dice at once here. So I'm going to secure an advantage with expertise, insight, or observation. So I'm going to roll with my wits for this one. And that is a fail. Good job, Humes. You know what? I can't even burn momentum on that. That's awful. So that was a 4, and I got a 5 and an 8, which is a miss. So I fail or my assumptions betray you. Pay the price.
Right.
I'm not going to roll for this one. I think I'm just going to... I think I'm going to lose some supply because I break a bunch of my arrows.
Okay.
I think I'm trying to you know that thing that archers do where they plant their arrows in the ground? I do that and I snap the first 3 and I'm just like, fuck!
It's like a root or something.
Yeah, I'm just snap. Snap. Fuck it.
We're so good.
So I'm going to cut down our supply by 1.
We're so good at this.
We're really good. And then do you want to make the same secure an advantage
so
roll?
I am going to do that.
So how
also
are you doing it with you?
So I think what would make most sense.
How are you preparing to fight these spiders?
So I am going to be. I'm going to draw my knives. So I've got a set of knives. I think probably. Being an assassin type, probably some of them are throwing knives.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get some of my throwing knives out as well as my main dagger as well. So drawing all of these.
So when you secure an advantage, so that sounds like you are trying to do it with precision.
I think
guess?
so. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to roll
agility,
edge.
and So I've got 2. So
2
that's
edge, so
2
plus 2 to this.
plus 2.
So 4.
So 4.
And then 2d10s, you're trying to get 4 and under.
Oh dear. That's fail.
Same thing for you as well. So how do you want to pay the price?
We doomed.
So I think I'm probably just going to drop some of my.
So you want to take damage to the supply as well? Like you lose some of your weapons in the dirt?
I think so. I've just.
Sure.
I have got.
So the supply is shared by all of us, by the way. So when I lose my supply, it went down to 4, and then it will go down to 3 again.
Yeah.
Oh, so for all of us?
Yeah, we all
okay.
share
Oh.
supply.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the only stat that we share in a group is supply.
So.
Okay, so we're ineptly trying to get ready.
So what are the other ways that I can fail?
In
pay
terms
the
of other
price?
ways, before we do that, so we could roll on it, but like some of the more common ones are something of value is lost or destroyed, your action has an unintended effect, you are separated from someone or something, a person or community you care about is exposed to danger, a new danger or foe is revealed, the current situation worsens, it is harmful, it is stressful, it wastes resources. So it could be stressful for you as well, like breaking some of your knives. Maybe these are like your mother's knives, and losing one in the mud causes you a lot of
I like to
personal
imagine
stress.
you're trying to do like the really cool knife flip, like you're doing that superhero cool slow motion movie thing, like walking in and drawing your knives and flipping them up, and you just drop it.
Yeah.
And because it's dark,
It's just lost.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So we could lose supply, or you could do that. I'm happy with anything, whatever you think works.
I think
Yeah, can we get new dice? I hate my dice right now.
something of value is lost or destroyed, and that is going to be my best throwing knife.
Your best knife, okay.
Yeah, my best knife.
Okay, all right.
I have a selection of other knives, but this is the one that my.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll have that'll have a narrative consequence.
Yeah.
All right. So we're actually at +4 still then, because we're not going to lose any supply for that. So I'll keep a track of the supply.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, in that case, then it comes down to the most important role. Kimberly.
Yeah.
Vigo. So, you remind us again what Vigo is doing. He is trying to pretend that setting the nest on fire is part
of my
the
story.
performance. Cool. I looked at this. When you attempt something risky with deception, stealth, or trickery,
Yeah.
that's roll plus shadow, which for you is...
Oh no! Why can't it be like 3? I've got loads of heart.
Because you're not trying to do it with charm, loyalty, or courage. You're trying to make
I'm
something...
trying to charm them though.
No, you said you were trying to make
charming
something look
them.
like part of your performance.
Fine, but I'm-
Ted, what do you think?
I think.
I'm charming them.
Alas.
I'm trying to make
Alas,
spider friends.
It's a group majority, so D. This is plus 1.
6.
Okay, and then 2d10s.
I like this dice.
And you need to get under 10, 6 or under.
2 and a 2!
Oh, and
and that
another
was a
match as
crit.
well. Jesus, why can't you roll like this in high rollers?
because I'm not being a ridiculous
Okay.
bard who's just pissed himself.
So,
Really?
okay, so face danger. On a strong hit, you are successful. Take +1 momentum. And then your story weaver thing also, it says like when you try and secure an
Oh, yeah.
advantage
Yeah.
by sharing and inspiring. I mean, you're not really sharing the story. You've already done that once.
I've
so
already done that once,
Just the
so.
+1. But you're successful. So you throw this this pitch
Yeah.
and the tinder
Yeah.
box or the torch or
Yes.
whatever, and it lands behind you in this very kind of epic, like
Yeah.
you're stood there like,
Yeah.
and then
And thus, the great flames arose.
as this like whole like network of web and bramble and thorns just it becomes engulfed in flames. And yeah, there's an unintended effect. So I could roll. That's like a plot twist. That's like a bad plot twist, I think.
Maybe someone's.
I was wondering whether maybe the forest spreads to some of the spider people.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
sure, that makes most sense. So not only do you catch the nest, but a number of these kind of woodland spiders that were kind of crawling up behind us are caught in the flame as well. And what we'll do is we'll have it so that the combat, which is going to happen, is going to be easier than it normally would have been because Vigo unexpectedly catches like half of their spiders in the flames that just kind of like whoosh go roaring up into.
Can I just say it just looks glorious? Just me stood gesturing with my cape out.
And I cannot think of a better time to take a break. So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a proper break, not like normal high rollers breaks. I think, and then we'll do donations all at the end. Okay. So we're gonna take a regular break. We're gonna take 5 minutes. We'll be back after that to see how our battle against the creepy spider people go.
Exciting.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
inappropriate touching going on before we come back from the break. Yeah, okay, sure. Not to me.
Get your hands off
I want to
me.
make clear. Between the married couple here. Welcome back to our little Ironsworn. I mean, it is a one-shot, I guess, but it's also just playing a fun game. Playing a fun game with my mates.
Being a barb.
Yeah, so the current situation. Our little trio of Ironsworn Ironlanders have snuck into the woods to try and burn out a creepy spider nest before they can attack the caravan that we are currently traveling with. We botched a little bit of sneaking in. We found it. Didn't quite sneak in, but thanks to an epic performance by Vigo the Voluminous, or what was it?
Voracious.
The Voracious. Vigo the Voracious.
I like the voluminous actually.
Voluminous. That's what everyone calls him, but he's like, no,
I
it's
am
voracious.
Voluptuous.
It's voracious in all of his hungers.
Versatile.
Oh, don't. Thanks to a big performance, we managed to keep these creatures at bay until Vigo managed to set it alight in an epic performance. So a couple of quick things. I realised we need to mark 2 more progress because we set the place alight, which we didn't think of. But now I think we're going to have a fight.
Okay.
These spiders are going to definitely, having seen their home set alight, no amount of storytelling will keep them at bay.
Part of the immersion, though.
Yeah, that's fine. It's worked up until now. So we're going to start a new progress track,
Yep.
which is just going to be called Fight the Spiders.
Fight the spiders.
Fight the
Fight the
spids.
spiders, fight the spiders, fight the spiders over, yeah. Right.
See my bardic influences.
Yes, absolutely.
Spreading.
So, when I was looking up spiders, I believe that these we can use. There are some stats, or there is a rank for them. For harrow spiders, they're called. They are dangerous. But what I was going to do is I was going to increase it to formidable because there was a lot of them. But because of the crit last time, we'll just mark it back down to dangerous.
Excellent.
And I think that this is going to be one of those fights where, well, maybe it should go back up to formidable because we are now also fighting in a place that's on fire.
Yeah, bit crispy.
Yeah, let's put it back up to formidable then.
Hot.
It's hot. But we're gonna share this combat.
Okay.
So if this was a fight where like we were all fighting separate enemies, we'd have one of these for each of us, and we'd
Okay.
have to fight our own fights. And then maybe we can help each other later on. But I think because we've kind of made our preparations and because of the way it is, we're all going to be fighting in the same fight. So all of our successes will go onto the same track.
Yep.
Until we finish this fight, I don't think we can try and complete
Yeah.
this event, right?
Yeah.
But if we do finish this fight, we can mark more progress because we would have cleared them out enough that we can easily get away.
Yeah.
Right? Is that okay? Does that sound good?
think that
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
right.
definitely.
Right, cool. So in that case, the first move you make when a fight kicks off is all 3 of us are going to make a move called Enter the Fray. When you enter into combat, set the rank of each of your foes. We're just going to do a group of them as a formidable foe. Then you roll to determine who is in control. So each of us are going to roll. I think that there are a bunch of options here. Facing off against your foe, which is just like a straight square off, you roll plus heart. If you're moving into position against an unaware foe or striking without warning, you roll with shadow. And if you're ambushed, you roll plus wits. I don't think we're ambushed. And I don't think we're in a position to like strike from shadows because you know, if that had been your preparation to like hide and you were hidden, I'd say you probably could have done that, but we flubbed those rolls. So this is all 3 of us are just going to roll plus heart, basically.
Okay.
And this will determine whether you have something called initiative, which will determine what kind of moves you can use, and if you're on the defensive or if you're on the offensive. So let's start with Ted. Use Kim's dice because mine roll like trash apparently. So this is plus heart for you. So what's that?
So 2.
Okay, so you got a 6 on your action die. So now 2d10s, like
Wait,
those
isn't
2.
it 5, 6,
That's
7?
a 5, 6,
Oh,
7.
sorry, yeah, because you're
7.
2. So 7. There's 2d10s for you, and then 7s are under. So a 10 and a 1, so that's a weak hit. So you can choose one of the following, Ted.
Yep.
bolster your position, you take +2 momentum, or prepare to act, you take the initiative. So if you take the momentum, you won't have initiative, which means that you'll basically be trying to defend yourself until you can gain the initiative.
Yeah.
Or you can take the initiative, but you don't gain any momentum.
I'm going to take the initiative.
Okay, so you're going to take the initiative. So now Vigo's going to roll.
This is heart, isn't it? Yeah. 6, 7, 8, 9.
So 9, 2d10s.
10 and a 5.
10 and a 5, so another weak hit. So would you like to bolster your position or take the initiative?
Bolster.
Okay, so you're going to take +2 momentum, but you don't have initiative, so you're not on the offensive, you're on the defensive.
Okay.
And then I'm going to stick with these dice. So 4 + 1, because of my heart, so 5. And then a weak hit for me as well. I will also take the initiative. So I will be on the initiative. So the next moves, so the way that combat works in this, there's no like pattern, right? There's no like monsters go, then we go, because the monsters never roll. We basically get to just describe cinematically what this fight looks like and what we're doing. If you have the initiative, you can use the strike move to try and harm your enemy. So basically try and kill spiders and do stuff, right? If you get hits, you deal damage, and that will mark progress on the fight. If you don't have the initiative, such as with Vigo, you can do a move called Clash, which is you're trying to defend yourself, but trying to get hits in where you can. Or you can do moves like Secure an Advantage or Face Danger, as we've previously done, right? If you ever get a strong hit, you gain the initiative.
Okay.
And if you strike and you roll a strong hit, you keep initiative, basically. So that's the way it works. So I think it makes sense if both Ted and I do something first, because we have the initiative, and then you go.
Yep.
So Ted, when you take us away, what would you like to do?
So obviously I have my selection of throwing knives. So I've already whipped them out, but now I'm actually going to try and pick off a couple of the spiders that are maybe further away, because I'm like, if I can take a couple out before they get close, then that could be a real advantage.
Sure.
And I just want to ask your advice on this.
Sure.
If you wield, I've got a combat talent called Cutthroat. If you wield a dagger or a knife, when you are in position to strike at an unsuspecting foe, choose one of these. And I'm just thinking, because would they be unsuspecting because they weren't expecting me to throw?
I think that would be, this is just me personally, and Kim can be the tiebreaker on this. To me, it's like that implies that you're hidden, like they don't know you're there.
Yeah.
I think that they know we're here now. Now you could, rather than make an attack, you could try and use your move to secure an advantage and try and hide, and then lose, so that the next time you strike, you do have that. The only thing to keep in mind is if you try and secure an advantage and you get a weak hit or a miss, you'll lose initiative, and then you'll be on the defensive.
Yeah. Okay, I'll forget about that. I am just going to go with my throwing knife. I start throwing knives.
Sure. Okay, so strike. When you have initiative and you attack in close quarters, which you're not, you're striking at range, that would normally be with plus iron. When you have initiative and attack at range, you roll plus edge. So what's your edge?
2.
2, so d6 plus 2. So keep using Kim's dice, and the weighted dice.
Microwaved, please.
5 plus 2 is 7. And then 2d10s.
These are ones that Nightjar sent me, actually, the blue ones.
Thank you, Nightjar.
Nightjar always sends really strong dice.
So it's 7, isn't it?
Yep, 7 or under, basically. 4 and a 6.
Boom.
So, strong hit. You inflict +1 harm. So normally, deadly weapons like knives, arrows, and swords are 2 harm. This is +1 harm, so 3 harm, and you retain initiative. Now, because this is a formidable foe, each point of harm is 1 progress. So you just deal 3 progress to the overall combat.
Excellent.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3.
Banging. So whilst, so we see Mando kind of throwing the knives, kind of darting to the side maybe, kind of like, spinning around to stop these things getting too close to him. And then I'm going to basically do the same thing where I begin pulling out arrows and trying to pick them off as they're rushing towards us. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to roll plus edge, which is +3 for me. So 3 plus 3 is 6. And then pass me that.
Why you roll in the box, Mark?
Yeah, thank you. Oh my god. Again, it's only a weak hit for me. So I inflict harm, so I do 2 progress.
Yep.
But I lose the initiative now. So now I'm on the defensive, and I imagine for me that they've now closed the gap. You're kind of keeping your distance, but they're now like right next to me, and I'm struggling to kind of keep up with them. As a point in question, you can't attempt to finish the fight until you roll a strong hit. So one of us has to roll a strong hit before we can try and finish the combat.
But did I just roll a strong hit?
You
just
did.
Now?
So, but. It's that cinematic thing, right?
Yeah.
Of like, I think that we said that Vigo was going to have a go. So if you want to try next turn, you're going to have to get a new strong hit.
Okay,
basically.
yep.
So did I have initiative or?
You did not. So
I did
you are
not,
currently.
So I clash.
Well, you clash, or you can face danger, or you can secure an advantage, which is on the first page.
I have an ability that when I strike or clash and burn momentum to improve my result, I inflict +2 harm.
And you're at +6 momentum now,
Yeah,
so
so
that's
when I
quite likely.
burn momentum, do I have to do all of it down to 2, or can I be like?
No, it's all of it
It's a
or none
point.
of it.
Oh,
And
none of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's basically you burn momentum, it resets it to 2, but you replace whatever you would have got on the action die with a +6. So if you roll more than that, then obviously you wouldn't spend it, right? And you only spend it after you see the die results as
Okay.
well.
Because I actually don't have very strong iron. I don't know why I took Swordmaster when I have like 1 iron.
Well, it's funny though, right? Because it's like maybe he's not great in combat,
Well,
but
yeah.
he likes the prestigiousness of having
Yeah,
the sword.
and I feel like he's been gifted this sword, right?
And trained to use it, but he's just
but
not
he doesn't.
strong.
Yeah, he prefers to use his wits and his charisma.
Oh, I like it. I think it's fun.
So I'm gonna clash. I'm going to use.
You're going to clash with iron
So I
because you're in
guess-
close quarters, so you're going to get in close with them now.
So that's a +1 from me. So I roll this, and if I don't like it, I can burn my momentum.
Well, you can wait until you roll the d10s because you wait until after all the roll and then you see what d10s you get.
Okay.
So
okay.
roll this +1.
Okay. 6 + 1 is a 7.
7, so now roll the 2d10s. So you might not even need to burn it because you've already rolled the best you could on the dice.
10 and a 6.
So in this case, burning momentum wouldn't mean anything because you'd still have, instead of a 7, you'd have a 6. So you rolled above your momentum anyway.
Yeah.
But you did get a 6, which is a weak hit. So on a weak hit, inflict your harm, but then pay the price. The foe keeps the initiative.
So is that 2 harm?
Whoa.
That is 2 harm, yep, because you didn't burn the momentum.
So it's 1, yeah, from me.
But then yes, you don't spend any momentum. You do 2 harm to the creatures, which is 2 more progress. But it was a weak hit, so we can't finish the fight yet. And you have to pay the price.
Okay.
What do you think is the most common result? That you get hit back?
I'm suffering.
To me, that would be the most likely outcome.
Yeah, I
is
think-
that you just get hit back, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that you're going to endure harm. So you're going to make an endure harm roll against their damage, which as a formidable enemy is actually quite a lot, I think. It's potentially 3 harm this. So the spider, as you're kind of fighting them, they swarm you. They begin biting down, clawing you with their fangs. I need you to roll. So you suffer -3 health. So you're going to go down to +2.
No. Oh my god.
Yeah, these things hit pretty hard. That's because there's a lot of us working together. Then you're going to roll either with plus health or plus iron, whichever is higher. Your iron is 1 and your health is +2, so it's going to be the health. So roll a d6 +2.
6, 7.
7, and then 2d10s, and then see what kind of hit you get.
3 and a 1.
So that's a strong hit.
Strong hit.
Strong hit. So on a strong hit, you shake it off. If your health is greater than 0, suffer -1 momentum in exchange for +1 health.
Yes.
Or embrace the pain, take +1 momentum.
I'm going to -1 momentum.
And then gain, and go you're back up to +3.
and then go up to +3 health.
Sounds
Nice.
good. Okay. But both of us have now lost the initiative, so we both can't strike at the moment. So cinematically, so we see. I think the most sense, right? The spiders have swarmed around Vigo and Katrin. Katrin's desperately trying to fend them off with a bow, like kicking them and stuff like that. Vigo's clearly being swarmed, he's bitten in the neck. And then we see the camera kind of zooms over to Manchu, who's like jumping amongst the like trees and things like that, throwing these knives.
Mandu.
So
I keep calling him Manchu because, like, I know. I think that's a D&D band guy called Manchun, and it's confusing me.
So I'm going to try again. I'll see what you think this time. The spiders are so concerned with attacking you two, and I've got initiative, that now I can take them unawares from behind. Is that maybe something?
I think so, because we've just set fire to them. So there's a lot of fire and heat and burning and crispiness.
Yeah, they're like distracted.
And then they've taken some chomps out of us, who are like the biggest, most visible, boisterous threat. So I feel like if you've jumped off into the distance.
Well, how about this? Okay, so if you make a secure and advantage roll and you get a strong hit, that's some rain, you can immediately make another move after it. So I think that you're going to use the current situation to make a secure and advantage roll. If you succeed, you'll be able to make an attack immediately afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So that's you basically using the moment to kind of jump into the shadows and then spring out again and do that, I think is what's going to be the case here. But you can definitely use your stealth and trickery, which is plus shadow. And I think you should probably even get a +1 because of the fire and everything else as well.
Sorry, I'm just really distracted by the actual real life Storm Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
It's just shitting
It's
itself
just
outside.
shitting itself over on Bristol. Yep.
Wow.
Well, let's see if another storm happens in here. So you're going to secure an advantage. So this is plus shadow.
So that's 3.
Yep.
That's the right, yep.
So 2 to a 5.
5. And
And you're just at, what momentum are you at the moment?
only 3.
You're only at +3, okay.
6 and a 10.
6 and a 10, so that is not going to be
No,
enough.
that's a fail.
It's going to be a fail. So, on a miss, you fail, or your assumptions betray you, pay the price. So the most obvious one, I think, here is, you don't really, I don't think that you would necessarily, like, take any kind of detriment to this, but you just don't get what you want, right? Like, you don't hide from the spiders, effectively.
Can you please describe this? Because I feel like it's part of your character.
So
He's trying to be cool.
I am, like I say, I've got my crushed velvet. It's all dark. Nobody can see me. I'm ducking in and out of the flames, hiding behind tree barks, you know, going, tree stumps. And then as I start to take aim, my coins fall out of my pocket again, everywhere. Somehow I've managed to try and take my knife out of its kind of sheath by my side, and I've cut the pocket.
Just all of these things are spilling out
I've
everywhere.
cut the pocket that all my coins are in, and my coins just go everywhere, all over the forest floor.
Fuck's sake.
And the spiders, who were completely,
Like,
concerned with you, and about to start digging their fangs into you, just turn around as one and just look straight at me, and I'm like,
They come barreling for you.
Oh my god.
Look up.
That's amazing. Do you try and pick the coins up, or like...
guys.
There's just more coins. How rich are you? Like, how many coins? Or is it just like you have lots of pennies?
That's his thing. It's lots of pennies, I think.
I've spent most of my childhood being a cut purse, but unfortunately I've become rather too good at it for my own good.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to find.
What are you doing, Mark?
I'm trying to look up something about initiative
Okay.
that I was trying to remember.
Shall I take my go while you're doing that?
Yeah,
Or, like-
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
I'm going to do the
please
same
do.
thing again. I'm going to clash again.
Okay.
And yeah, maybe use my Swordmaster if I feel the need to burn initiative. But I might need your eye over it because I don't quite understand the numbers. So rolling. So I need to roll. I don't have initiative, so it is a roll plus iron, which is 1. So that's a 6. That's a 7.
You keep rolling so bloody
I
good.
know. Watch
and I
next
keep
week. It's going to
rolling
be like
so bad.
nat 1s next week. Oh my god.
Oh, here we go.
6 and a 6.
I rolled a 6 and a 9.
So
Yeah,
is that a miss?
I rolled a 7.
And you got a 6 and a 9.
Yeah.
So that's a weak hit.
Weak hit.
Um,
Do you think I should burn in it? No.
so what did you get? 7.
Yeah.
Your momentum is currently less than the 7.
Okay.
So basically, the momentum replaces the action die roll.
Oh, right.
So it doesn't.
So there's
it's
no
not going to
point.
help you basically. On a weak hit, it's the same thing. You do inflict your harm, so you can mark another 2 progress on this fight, but you pay the price. Now, again,
Okay.
like if you're worried about taking damage, you could push to basically be like, we could roll on pay the price to see if something happens.
Where's the... okay, pay the price. Okay.
Yeah, pay the price. So it says basically, you suffer the outcome of a move. Choose one. Make the most obvious negative outcome happen. In this case, you're hurt. That's the most obvious. You can envision 2 negative outcomes and then rate one as likely, and then you can roll to see like between the 2, or you can roll randomly to see what happens, basically.
What do you guys think I should do? Because I've got an idea for a negative outcome, but it is going to be less health. But like, yeah, what do you guys think?
I mean, for me, I always try and go for, even if it seems boring for one shot, the most obvious because it makes the most sense.
So I'd like to think that while all of this is going on, and I'm kind of like, ha ha, and I'm very like, I don't know, like D'Artagnan or something like that. I'm thinking about Picard again. So I'm very like classic fencing sword fighter. One hand up, sword out, like ha ha, parry, parry, thrust, thrust.
Not really useful
Very
against
good.
spiders.
Yeah, well that's why I get injured on the first time. But the second time, I see this idiot assassin cut his own money bag open, and I'm distracted by it. And as I'm distracted and wheel around, like I'm almost blinded by all these coins falling in the dark, my cape catches fire, and it just it burns me.
Okay, I finally found the thing I was looking for.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. When you got your miss, you lost initiative.
Okay.
So we are currently all basically now on the defensive as we're being swarmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a fire thing. Then keep in mind that the narrative element of this place burning around us could absolutely factor into the pay the price as well. Like you could basically start burning to death, or you could something like you could throw something into the fire, or you could get pushed back where you don't have an easy escape. Things like that you can invoke to create the circumstance as well. So you're doing all the fighting, and then you're being swarmed and chomped on.
I get distracted by Coin Boy here.
Yeah.
And my cape flies, like brushes into the fire, and my cape is now on fire. And it does, that's like part of the damage, is that I start getting a bit.
I think that makes the most sense. So this is another endure harm.
Okay, so how it hurt me.
So, well, this is the scary thing, right?
Yeah, I might die.
It's 3.
Yeah.
So what happens? You go to 0.
I'm on 0.
All right. If your health is 0, you suffer minus momentum equal to any remaining health, but it wasn't. You've literally gone from 3 to 0, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing left over. So now you roll plus health or iron, whichever is higher.
3.
Nope, this goes down to 0.
Okay.
So this is at 0
That's
now.
0.
So let's do that as a reminder. So which is higher, 0 or 1?
Oh, 0, 1. Okay. Oh my god!
Right?
She rolled
Well, but
poorly.
here's where momentum might back you up. So roll the 2d10s. You need to get 2 or below. Get them in the box.
Oh my.
1 and a 4.
Okay, so this is a weak hit. So this might be worth just keeping. It's just you press on. So you're still standing, but if you get hit again, you all of that momentum will be lost.
Okay.
And you start getting debilities as well, or you basically start getting real bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's your go. So that was not your go, but like that's you. So we see this happening. I haven't done anything in
It would be nice if you
fucking
like
ages.
hit them. Like,
Well,
so what happens on the progress?
So
we're up to 9.
we're up to
progress.
9, and this is something which Adam Coble, like my friend who's been playing this on YouTube and Twitch, this is great. If we can get a strong hit, the next we can try and finish this fight, and it's highly likely that we'll succeed.
Yeah.
We need a strong hit to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that seeing all of this go down,
Yeah.
seeing you being swarmed, I think Catelyn is basically going to try and I think I'm going to do something like face danger, and I'm going to try and we're in like a woods, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like my thinking is I'm going to try and kind of back off, leave myself open for a moment, and I'm going to try and shoot up to try and like knock like some vines, like cut through some vines to create like an opening for us to try and run away. Like that's the kind of moment. It's like seeing all of this and there's too many of these spiders, but maybe there's like they've used like these like vines and webs to like hold up these logs that they've built cocoons on.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna basically, or maybe like set an arrow on fire and then fire it up, kind of catch it, and then it drops like the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. And I'm going to use your dice. Now, do you think that because I am facing a danger, using my knowledge of tracking woodcraft or woodland creatures?
Well, you are in a wood, setting wood on fire,
Yay!
using wooden arrows.
To fight woodland creatures.
Yeah, that's like 4 wood.
And I'm attempting to do this with precision, so I'm going to roll edge. So I actually get +4 to this with my wild blood talent.
Hey!
So 9.
9.
So I need to get 9s or lower.
3 and a 9.
3 and a 9. So that's a strong hit. So on a strong hit, I'm successful. I get to take +1 momentum. But most importantly, it's a strong hit.
Yeah.
So now we can try and finish the fight. And any of us can do that. So do we want to try and do that? Basically just finish this combat.
So do I put that up one as well?
We don't put that one up one because we've not done any damage to the spiders.
Okay, yeah.
So this is the fight against the spiders. But because I've created this advantage, the way to think of this is I kind of shoot up, the thing is cut, it swoops down, knocks a bunch of them, and it clears a path. And then Catelyn is like, run, come on, is throwing you to get out of here. The way that this works is rather than rolling a d6, you use however many progress we've marked as the action die.
So that's 9.
So we need to get 9s or lower to succeed.
Okay.
And we really need a strong hit on this to
Yeah.
finish the fight.
So who rolls for that?
Any of us, it
Go
doesn't
on,
really
Ted.
matter.
Go on, Ted.
So this is called an end the fight. It's a progress move.
So you need 9s or lower. Okay.
So, and also describe to us what your decisive action is that's going to finish this fight.
Right, so obviously I see the curtain kind of falling from the woodland and I can see the path out. At this point, I shout to you guys, I can see a way through! We just need to make it out! That way! Quick!
Okay, and then Catelyn probably runs up, grabs Vigo,
just
who's
like,
I probably cut your cape off with a knife, and then just grab your shoulder and shove you forwards. Cool. So we're looking for 9s and under here. Oh my god! This is the worst outcome we could have hoped for. So if you don't know, a 0 on a d10 is a 10. We needed a 9 or lower. Yeah. So let me tell you what happens.
You're the worst. I divorce you. This is what's happening.
So
That's
not
the
only-
worst outcome.
Not only do we completely lose the fight, it says you lose the fight, we have to pay the price.
So can I just describe what has happened here?
Yeah. Come on.
Sure. I've got an idea for the twist, for the match, because also this is a crit fail. So this is a crit fail.
Oh my
So
god.
what's your idea?
Well, my idea was going to be that as I point to the way out, my knife flies out of my hand
Okay.
and chops a branch down that just
Blocks it.
and blocks the path that you just cleared.
So we see that. So you kind of this way. The knife goes, and it just hits this tiny bit that it's like in this kind of brambly nest of cobwebs. It just cuts through a part that's holding it all in, and it collapses. All these flaming webs are falling down around us. The spiders are screaming, and then I think the crit failure on this is. The spiders, we lose the fight, right?
Yeah.
We have to flee.
Okay.
But in losing the fight, not only do we have to run, and I think we're probably going to have to lose some supply or take spirit damage or something, but also the spiders just in huge numbers swarm towards the caravan and just we fucked
They're on a
it.
rampage.
We fucked that. They're dead, but we have to flee with our lives. So I think all of us should probably take spirit damage as we're literally having to be forced to retreat. So we're all going to endure stress. So you start us off, Ted. So this is, you're going to take 3 spirit. So minus 3 spirit.
I am down
We're down
to
to
2.
Yeah, I think we're all down to 2. So then you roll either heart or spirit, whichever is higher.
So I got 2 spirit or 2 hearts.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. So same thing. Oh my god, double 10s. On we needed 9s.
Unbelievable.
That's the way the game goes.
So that's 5.
5, yeah. And then 2d10s.
That's a double.
Okay, so that's a strong hit.
Strong hit.
So you can either shake it off, you can spend momentum to gain a spirit, or you can embrace the darkness for +1.
So that's also a critical.
That is a critical success as well, yeah. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Have a think about how you want to... So with the matches, it always says some sort of twist to the narrative. So that could be maybe you always wanted to get away from the caravan or something like that.
Yeah.
Think of something that could, be that twist. And we don't have to do it now. We'll do me and Kim. Sure. Well, let's do that. But do you want to take the -1 momentum and gain another spirit, or do you just want to take +1 momentum?
I will just take +1 momentum.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, so you go up to +4. Okay. Kim, you do the endure stress now. So spirit or heart for you, it's heart is higher, so +3.
Yes.
4.
4.
2d10s. 4s or lower.
5 or 7. I did a big fail.
On a miss, you also suffer -1 momentum. If you're at -0 spirit, you must mark shaken or corrupted. Well, you're not at 0 spirit, so you just lose a momentum.
That's all right. I had loads. I'm on +4 momentum.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. And then old Marky Humes. +2 for me for a 6. Strong hit for me. So I'll actually lose momentum and gain 1 spirit back. So I'm just back down to 4, and then I will go to...
I'm just imagining this big fiery herd of spiders
like-
that are set on fire, just
And they're just
rampaging.
running at the caravan,
like,
tearing it apart, and
Yeah.
there's women and men screaming, and,
And don't forget the
like,
children as
echoing,
well.
and the
And the
children,
children.
echoing through the woods as the 3 of us are just running for our lives deeper into the woodlands, trying to get away.
So can I describe the plot? This
Yeah,
plot
sure.
twist?
Tell me what
Please
you
do.
thought.
Please do.
So obviously, we are now making our way out. The spiders have gone in the opposite direction towards the caravan.
Yeah, maybe
that
a couple of
caravan
them
is
are
a lost
chasing us,
cause.
but like, yeah.
We have got no idea where we're going. But at this point, a figure darts out of the trees
Oh, okay.
and hails us.
Do we want to see who this figure is, or do you have an idea who it is?
No, I think we need to see who it might be.
Okay, sure.
They hail us and say, "You 3, quick, over here!"
Okay, well, I rolled for a character roll, and my roll, I got vagrant, so it's a hobo.
Okay.
Some sort of hobo.
A woodland
A
hobo.
woodland hobo who is here to collect a debt.
Oh.
So who does that belong to?
Ah.
And then a character descriptor. They're quite stern and disfigured. So there we go. And then let's come up with a name.
Mother?
Kodroth is their name.
Go draws.
Kodroth. So Kodroth, who is this kind of, I imagine as like a wild man. Like has been living out in the woods, has got like clothes that are stitched together with like animal hides and sinew, big crazy beard, dark circles under his eyes, horribly like melted part face, like some sort of acid or something has like burnt his face away, and he's like comes running out like, "You 3, follow me!" and leads us like to safety, basically, or like helps us get away from, because there's a few spiders chasing after us.
Yeah.
It's like, follow me! Like ducks into like a little cave, like into like a warren beneath the things, and like pulls like a camouflage door shut, like a kind of man Friday who's been living in these woods.
So what happens, like, do we now, like, because...
So
going back to the original vow of to burn the spider's nest before dawn.
right.
Is that,
so,
like, now a failure? Like, that's
well,
just...
here's the thing. I think that basically we technically did burn the thing
Yeah, before dawn.
before dawn.
Yeah.
So the problem is that the person that we swore that vow to, we don't know if they're alive or dead.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the twist, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what happened to the caravan. All we know is that they basically, these burning spiders charged off towards it and they've killed some people.
Yeah.
Now, if Elric is still alive and we can find him, maybe by going to New Ridge,
Yeah.
we could probably still say like, hey, we still completed what we said to do, but there was way more of them than with, we could just try and justify our
Yeah.
We'll talk our way out of this.
or the other option that we can do is there is a move for forsake your vow. So we can either try and fulfill it, because we've made progress towards it.
Yeah.
But we need to be able to basically go to the person that we swore the vow to do that. Or we can forsake the vow. When you renounce your quest, betray your promise, or the goal is lost to you, clear the vow and endure stress.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that anymore.
Well, I don't know if we have a choice. I think that to us, like, the goal is lost to us. Like, you know, I think that as far as we know, they're all dead and we killed them. Keep in mind, you might not necessarily, like, die. It just might mean that you get some sort of cool debility.
PTSD.
And to be honest, I think we're all going to risk
Okay, well, let's break the vow.
Okay, so we're going to forsake the vow. So the quest was dangerous, right?
Yeah.
So it's 2 spirit damage.
So I'm actually still on +1. I'm
we
just
out.
okay. You and Ted, you and Mandu are at 0.
I'm also
So-
0 health as well, so I'm probably done.
Well, you get to make the roll first, so let's find out.
What's your Raven been doing in all of this?
Just watching.
Waiting for it to die.
Does it sit on your shoulder or like hang out in your hood or does it flap around?
It's a bit of a mixture. Sometimes he'll come, like sometimes Robin will come and sit on my shoulder and just kind of screech in my ear. But I think for this particular battle, Robin was just like watching from an overhead branch, just kind of doing the Raven equivalent of a face palm, like it was doing a big wing palm, just going, oh my god.
We should have absolutely fucking won that. That was ridiculous.
That
Okay.
was one hell of a roll.
So all of us are going to endure stress.
Okay.
So it's the same thing again. So you roll spirit or heart, whichever is higher. It's going to be heart for all of you guys.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't matter. So we'll start with old Vigo. Poor Vigo.
9.
All right, so then 2d10s. 9's or lower.
Do you want me to roll that one again?
No? Oh, yeah, the blue one, yeah.
3 and a 7.
3 and a 7, strong hit. So you can shake it off. You either suffer -1 momentum to gain +1 spirit, or you embrace the darkness, take +1 momentum.
I think I want some spirit.
I think that is a wise
So
idea.
+1 spirit.
Yeah, but lose a momentum. Then Mandu does the same thing. So what are you adding
So
to?
yeah, obviously 2 for heart.
Yep.
So
5,
5.
and then 2d10s.
That one and that one.
I like how we've just given up on my dice.
1 and a 3.
Yeah, so the same
Excellent.
thing. So strong hit, you can either shake it off, -1 momentum to gain +1 spirit, or +1 momentum.
Yeah, I'll take -1 momentum.
Okay, and then I will do the same. +1 for me, for a 5. Come on, dice, don't let me down.
7 and a 5.
7 and a 5. And I don't have the momentum burn, so it is a weak hit for me. I press on, so no change for me. So that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, we basically clear that vow. I don't think we get experience points because we kind of fucked up well bad. But that means that they're basically cleared. So we are fresh in the world. But we do have Kodroth, this vagrant who has pulled us in, and is here to collect a debt. So what is that? Any ideas?
I wonder if it could be if anyone else has any better ideas as well, but I feel like it could be something to do with me, where I imagine that he was once a man of splendor and riches.
Okay.
And we had an encounter in a drinking hall. And he challenged me to a drinking competition. No, he challenged me to an eating competition.
Right.
It did not end well for him.
Right.
He vomited forthwith from everything. And in the competition, the wager was for this magical item that he had, an artifact, a family heirloom.
Right, okay.
And he had to give it to me. And when he did, all his wealth gone.
Right, okay, so it was like some sort of thing of fortune. It brought him great fortune.
Yeah.
And when he gave it away, it reversed, and he's had bad luck ever since.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the burny face, I mean, that's probably due to me, but I didn't hang around long enough to figure
Sure,
that
yeah.
out.
Well, I imagine that's probably happened in his intervening years living in the deep, wild woodlands, surrounded by horrible spiders and all sorts of nasty monsters and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my proposition. So
I'm happy.
you guys, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay. It was specifically an eating competition, though, right?
Okay,
I just want that.
Well, I mean, it sounds like Vigo is the one who has the history with him, so why does Vigo not tell us what happens, what goes down when we're pulled into this hovel?
So we're pulled in. I probably don't recognize him, to be honest.
Yeah?
I
Okay.
probably don't recognize him. I'm like, oh, thank you, kind savior.
Don't look at me. You can play him as well.
Do
Like,
you want to play him? You can play him.
I recognize you.
I am very famous, yes. I am Vigo the Voracious, known in all the lands.
I know who you are.
Yes, famous.
You had done me a great wrong.
unsurprising, to be quite honest.
Doesn't sound like me. Are you sure? Vigo the Voracious.
The voluminous monster.
Do you remember a certain contest you partook in.
I mean, there's lots of contests in a life as varied as mine.
Specifically centered around eating.
I've entered 6 eating competitions in my lifetime.
5 years ago.
You're gonna have to be a bit more specific than that, my friend.
You better just
wronged
give
me.
his name. Just give
My name is
Cordroth.
Cordroth.
Shit.
You remember me now, don't you?
Fuck.
I have come to collect what is rightfully mine.
Now, listen here, Cordroth. Cordroth. I won that bet and that competition fair and square.
You may have won the competition fair and square, but that item was not what you were entitled to.
It was. You vowed. You bargained. You wagered, good sir. You said you would put on the table what you most valued. I personally thought it would be your wife, but no. You gave up the heirloom.
Yes, well, this is true, but may I remind you that I have also just saved you.
I dare say
near
we would have
certain
found
death.
out. No, I'm sure we would have. Caitlin, help.
I think
Just like leans up against the thing, just listening.
That's not helping.
I think that saving your lives might be at least somewhat repayable in terms of the item which you took from me.
I didn't take it. I won it fair and square. Like I said, your lovely,
Fair and
voluptuous
square.
wife would have been payment enough.
Fair
but
and
no.
square.
Enough of your bickering, the two of you. What do you want, old man? Do you have this still? This heirloom? Whatever, Vigo?
Yeah, lost.
So you do not have it.
I lost it in a drinking competition, okay?
Then we cannot give it back to you, old man. So what do you want? So that's, yeah. You don't have to think of everything. You can be like,
Yeah.
okay, guys, what does he want?
What does he want?
I mean, he's here to collect a debt, so he feels he's owed something,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't have to be the item. It could be that maybe he feels like he's owed the riches it brought him or something
blood
like that.
debt.
Or maybe there's something in...
An
'cause
eye for an eye.
keep in mind that there's... this is pretty magical, like, landscape, so it could
Yeah.
be that there's something in these woods that would turn his life around, back
Yeah.
around, you know? That, to me, is, like, a pretty good thing that he might want. We can try and roll for it and see if there's something on the Oracle that we could come up with. But to me, my most obvious thing is like, he'd be like, you know, there's some sort of, like, a magic, you know, relic, or there's a blessing, or like the waters from a certain pool in this deep wilds can restore what he's lost, or something like that. Like, and if we bring that to him, then he'll see the score settled.
What about a new wife?
A new wife. He wants a new wife. We could make that a thing, but he wants like some sort of like a nymph or something like that, or a dryad, like some sort of beautiful creature.
What do you think, Ted?
Yeah.
What would you go for?
I think just a restoration of his life, of his fortunes, would
Okay.
be good. When I lost that bet to you, I did not realise that this would be the outcome of it. Now, you may not have realised the curse that you would place upon me by taking that item, but you owe it to me to restore my...
Do I?
Yes.
Do I?
Yes, Vigo, you do. I mean, if nothing else, you owe this man your life.
It wasn't in the small print.
Well, it doesn't.
It was a straightforward eating competition, fair and square.
You owe your life to me, and I think
I don't see how eating some bear legs,
saving you from a pit of spiders might constitute somewhat...
really a pit of the forest for sure.
Vigo, you would easily be in an early grave if it wasn't for this man coming to our rescue. So yes.
I was almost in an early grave because this young whippersnapper and I gesture at Mandu can't cut the right thing. Who cuts their own purse? Honestly.
I never finished my training.
Irrelevant. What matters now is that this man has saved us. We owe him a debt, and we probably can't leave this woods. Even I will struggle to get us out of this deep into the woods. And if he knows this area, he can probably help us get out.
I've heard tell of some treasure which is buried deep within this forest. I shall lead you to that treasure and even give you half if you will just assist me on my quest to find this treasure.
Okay, is it cursed, haunted? guarded by more spiders.
Buried.
Buried. Wonderful.
It's guarded, but
What happened to the face, old chap?
I don't like to talk about that.
No, because I definitely was not responsible for that.
I do not like to talk about what happened to my face.
You had a working face when I left you, sir.
Look, there was just like an incident with some alcohol, okay?
Yes. Maybe you should have had a drinking competition rather than an eating competition. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Maybe think about the consequences of your actions next time. Maybe you should have sold me your wife. That would have been fair.
okay. Well, so for this new quest, this new vow, I actually got sent. The guy who made this, Sean Tomkin, he's actually made an expansion called Delve, which is all about going into dungeons and things like that. So, and I think it sounds like if there is a treasure to be found deep in the wildlands, that's probably what we could do.
Dungeon
Yeah, I think so. So we could roll up and see something like that. Or we can just pick one, and then there's actually like stuff where we can figure out what kind of type it is.
Yeah.
I think that the two most obvious ones for me, like, so there's like these themes, right, for each delve. So there's one which is called Ancient, which I think could work quite well, like buried in the woods, like a forest, like one of maybe the ancient ones, like the ruins that they've got all around the world. Corrupted, this place is tainted by dark magic. Haunted, this place, the spirits are bound to this place. Infested, foul creatures dwell here.
I feel like we've just dealt with spiders, so.
We've had
Yeah,
an
that's kind of why I
infestation.
wanted to avoid the infested and wild themes. Barrow, the dead are entombed here. So I think for me it would be like haunted, barrow, or ancient.
I like the idea of ancient ones. Like there's an ancient forest temple god thing.
Sure,
Like a god buried in the forest.
sure. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. In that case, I'm just going to need to do a couple of rolls.
All right, you, Toad.
Do you have
I am an ancient one.
That's true.
You
that's
do
my
always
magic.
call me an old man.
You are an old man, grumpy old man.
All right, in that case, do you have a d20 in your bag?
Yes, of course I do, my friend. I have many.
Pass me one. So
18.
18. Ooh, okay. And then 19. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna keep that a bit secret until in a minute. So, so the next thing we would need. This is a new iron vow, right? So we get Kordroth, who's like, well, before I will take your vow, you will swear to me that you will retrieve this treasure and repay your debt for your life and for the fortune that I have lost. And he kind of glances at Vigo in that, but doesn't linger too much on it. And maybe
shrug.
produces like, rather than like a clean piece of iron, he has just like a small lump of raw iron, like, you know, maybe like embedded into like a walking stick or something like that. And he like plants it firmly in the middle. A vow then. Swear.
Fine. I place a single digit on the coin.
Okay.
Are you two joining in or not?
Seems only fair. He did save our life.
I'll make a promise.
I'm just not even looking at it. I'm just like,
If nothing else, Manchu, you could use more coins. Just perhaps find a better place to store them in the
Yes,
future.
I must admit that I am rather
clumsy, stupid,
well, not
oafish, loud.
No, that's pretty much mostly to describe yourself, I think, Vigo.
I am voracious.
I was going to say that I'm rather light on my own fortune at the moment, so a secret treasure
Sounds
might actually be rather helpful.
Okay. So, Vigo, you've got the best heart, and this is directly related to you, so why don't you roll to make an iron vow?
Okay, so what is just the straight up roll you
This
roll?
is a plus heart.
4, 5, 6, 7,
7, and then 2d10s.
3 and a 2.
So a strong hit.
Yep.
You are emboldened, and it is clear what you must do next. Take +2 momentum.
And that's for all of us, is it?
I think, well, it's normally just for Vigo,
But
I think all of us should take it because we're kind of swearing this together, and it's relevant to what we're doing.
I think, given the situation though, so given the wonderful performance I gave last time, for this one I'm sulking a bit, so I'll probably just I'll do like a crappy little poem, just like, you know, none of the vigour that I had before. I'll just be like,
I vow to thee, old man, that we will restore your fortune in this land. La-di-da-di-da, fortune, wealth, and fame, blah, 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 will come to your name. The end.
Okay. Yeah. It's just like, a vow is sealed upon iron, never to be broken. But before we head out, do we want to take any preparations? Like, you guys are like,
I could
Vigo
do
is
with a health.
pretty injured.
I need some health.
Yeah, we can try and heal you. We can also try and resupply. I could go hunting to try and get our supply back up. We've only lost 1 point on supply.
Yeah. So
Or we could make camp as well.
Spirit and health that I need, really.
Yeah, I need spirit.
Yeah, so we can. I mean, it's quite difficult to get some of this stuff back away from a settlement. We need to really find a settlement to get that back up.
Okay.
But what we could do is, before we go on a journey, we could try and heal Vigo. So healing is a move that anybody can make. And then we can also make camp, which is basically, we can make camp here, but it means going out and foraging for food and getting supplies and stuff like that. So Katrin is quite happy to go out and make camp and like try and gather some supplies if you want to try and heal Vigo.
Right. Let's have a look at those wounds.
Have you washed your hands, dear
Well,
boy?
actually, I think Manchu should go and do the camping.
Mandu.
Mandu. I keep saying it, Manchu.
I feel like it works, though, like, in game.
Yeah, well, because the thing is healing is a wits roll and you have 1.
Yeesh.
So I think I should tend to Vigo as much as I don't want to. And then you go and basically start. Well, you can resupply. Oh no, we want to make camp. So this is actually against our supply, which is currently +4. So that makes sense. So I'm going to try and heal Vigo. I'll do that now. So plus wits, which is 2 for me. Oh, 1. Marvelous.
Don't give me sepsis or something.
Might do. Oh yeah, that's a miss. That's a big old miss. On a miss, your aid is ineffective. Pay the price. What would we say is the most common outcome of this?
I think something is going to get infected.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We could do that.
My limb falls off.
So
My
what could that
cape! My
be?
cape!
Wounded, shaken, encumbered. Maybe it just wastes resources because I'm having to like use like kit and stuff like that to try and fashion like a splint and like bind your wounds, but it is very ineffective. I think that's the most obvious outcome.
Maybe just
Sadly there is no like hard,
Yeah.
you now have disease.
I probably still smell like pee, so you're probably just like gagging while trying to like bind
don't.
it, and it just goes wrong.
Yeah, I think that's it. I just don't want to help
Yeah,
you, I think is the real,
I'm dirty
real
and filthy,
difference.
and I'm a bit fiery, so a bit on fire.
I mean, the other option is the current situation worsens, which is just you take more damage.
No,
which
I'll
I don't
die.
really exactly. I don't want to kill you. So I think we just waste resources basically.
Okay.
So
Right,
I'm
and then you're going to
make
make camp. So this is
So do
now.
I go to-
It was a +4. Now it's a +3. As I use up a bunch of our supplies trying to
We are
heal
the
Vigo.
best fucking party. 4.
+3, so 7.
And then 2d10s.
Don't roll 2 10s. Don't do it. Don't do it. A 1 and a 2. There,
Yes.
Where was that?
Strong hit. So when you make camp, when you rest and recover for several hours, which is what we're doing, on a strong hit, you and your allies, so that's all of us, can choose 2 of the following. We choose 2 of these. Recuperate, you take +1 health for you and any companions. So Ted picks this, by the way.
Yeah.
Partake, suffer -1 supply and take +1 health for you and your companions. So you can't do the same one twice. You can relax, take +1 spirit. Focus, take +1 momentum. Prepare, when you break camp, add +1 if you undertake a journey. Those are the options, and we picked 2 of them. So we could do like recuperate and relax, which is +1 health and +1 spirit.
I think, that's what we need to do.
Because you're at max health as well, aren't you, though?
Yeah, but we definitely need spirit.
We don't need to do health.
I'll just pee on myself some more.
No, that's fine. Okay,
I have incontinence
so we're
now.
going to gain +1 spirit,
Yeah.
and then +1 health, which is irrelevant to me.
So is there anything I can do in this bit?
You can try and heal yourself.
Yeah.
You can do any of the moves, basically.
I think I'll try and heal myself.
Or you could like try and secure an advantage or gather information or...
I'm gonna heal myself.
Okay.
That's great.
So you can actually use iron for this. Iron or wits. So
Yeah, I'm
wits for
using
you.
wits.
Yep.
5. 1 and an 8.
Okay, so,
So
on a weak hit, as above, but you must suffer -1 supply or -1 momentum, your choice.
Momentum.
You gain +2 health.
Cool. I'm going to take my momentum down. And +2 health, so 3.
Perfect.
I'm back up to +3 health.
Cool.
Boom.
Right. So, did we swear the Iron Vow yet?
Yes.
We rolled for that, didn't we?
rolled,
And we
I
got the
rolled,
strong
and
hit,
yeah,
didn't
and
we?
I got my little
So
poem.
we have to set what rank that vow is.
My little
Going
ditty.
in to get treasure from an ancient place sounds pretty. Is it dangerous or formidable? I think dangerous, maybe.
I think dangerous.
Dangerous. It's not too difficult.
'Cause you never
it could
know.
easily get worse.
There might not be anything guarding it. It might just be a quick grab and go
Absolutely.
job.
We'll find
Smash
out.
and grab.
Recover treasure from ruins,
Recover treasure
and it's dangerous.
Oh, we've got them on our own sheets as well.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
from ruins.
Perfect. So,
Dangerous.
steps to do, we need to get there. I imagine that this maybe is a journey, though. I see it as like this is a trek through the woodlands. Not a long trek, so I think this will just be a troublesome trek through the woodland.
Dark and there's spiders.
But we're going to have to get there. Then searching the ruins for this treasure and then basically getting it out.
Yeah.
That's it. All right.
So should we write that down?
So on the progress, we're going to create a journey. So in the next column here, so when you travel across hazardous or unfamiliar lands, hazardous for the deep wilds, I think, it's only troublesome. And then basically for each segment of the journey, we'll have to roll wits, and then basically that will determine how we progress, basically. Now I'm happy to lead that because I'm actually not too bad because we are in the woodland, although that doesn't apply, but my wits is 2. I think I've got the best wits. No, you've got the same as me.
I'm just reading these spells now that I've actually played this, and I'm like, oh, do I understand a bit more what it's saying? And like this one, bind, just starts with when you wear an animal pelt and dance in the moonlight.
Yeah, it's all very like weird things.
Yeah.
Like, have you read your scry one?
Yeah.
What does it do?
So it's when you look into flames to study a remote person location, roll plus shadow.
Oh, okay.
You or someone with you must have knowledge of the target. On a strong hit, gather information, but on a low hit, I get harm. So that's why I'm not doing it. Because I could roll to see this temple.
Yeah.
But if I do badly...
And you have a shadow of
I have a shadow of 1 because
so you
I
did some really good pickings.
did not consider these when I did my stats. But yeah, so if I roll badly, I endure harm or endure stress, and I feel like I don't really want to do that right now.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't really want to help this guy. He's an asshole.
Okay.
Should have let me have his wife.
All right. Well, I'm going to begin us on this journey.
Go ahead.
As I lead us out. Now that we've camped, we've resupplied, and we've tried to heal you up. But do we want to try and... I could try and like gather info first, because I feel like getting some momentum would be pretty useful.
I think so, yeah.
Because I've got +6. Yeah, I'm going to try and gather info first, and I do get a +1 bonus to this. So Katrin is like, all right, you stay here. I'm just going to go explore for a bit. I'm just going to try and get an idea of where we're heading. So 6
Ooh, nice.
plus gather information plus wits is 8. 5 and a 3, strong hit.
Nice.
So, on a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn, ask, and then take +2 momentum. So, what can we learn about where we're going to? Oh, I did my roll, actually, already.
Is that just 2 momentum for you?
Yes, just 2 momentum for me. But I think what I find out is that this place that we are going to... so when I rolled for the dangers of this place, I rolled for the features and the dangers.
Okay.
Would you like to know what I rolled?
Yeah.
So under the features, visions of this place in another time. So as we draw closer, we'll begin to see this ruin. There is like moments of it where it looks like it used to back in the day, like there's this kind of like mirage around it. But the danger I rolled was ancient evil resurgent. What's an ancient evil that could come back?
An old god?
An old god is in this temple. Sure, great.
It's quite dangerous. That strikes me like it should be an epic, really. But
Well, I mean, you know,
a minor old god.
minor old god, but it's also like we might be able to get in without angering it. So maybe that's the process.
Tell it a story.
And like maybe
Sneak in.
is it just that there's a god, or is there a cult there as well? That's like we uncover that there might be a cult. To this
We could make friends with them.
Yeah, I mean they're easier to talk to than anything else.
There's a cult there trying to summon an old god.
An old god. There you go. Okay, perfect. Okay, cult of an old god. So, and I think that's what I find out. So Katrin out in the woods is gone for several hours, and in a montage we kind of see her scouting and kind of tracking through the woods, and finds that humans have been passing through these lands, and catches some of them, these kind of like robed figures in these kind of dark red and grey robes, kind of chanting as they move, holding like old iron kind of like swords and things like that as they
I
make their
imagine
way
they've
through.
got like bark masks, like in Majora's Mask, like kind of.
So elves in Ironlands wear those masks. So maybe
okay.
it's an old cult of
Like,
elves.
yeah.
But these are bad elves. These are bad elves, and they've got wearing these like wooden masks.
with
and,
like red tracks down, like.
and maybe
the
instead
eyes.
of like iron swords, they have like these like wooden swords, but they're nearly as sharp. They're like elven weapons that are like carved from like special wood, and they're just like kind of chanting in Elvish as they make their way through and in towards the ruin. So I come back and I'm like, well, there's some good news and bad news. I know where we need to go. There might be creepy elves there.
Oh, wonderful!
But at least creepy elves we can sneak past and talk to. They're not like
I
spiders.
could tell them a story.
Yeah, well, maybe we save that as a last minute thing.
What kind of story do you think they would like?
Something terrifying, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Death to all humans, I imagine.
Oh, I have plenty of those, yes.
I could use my skills of stealthing and sneaking. We all know how good I am at those. I was trained as a youngster.
Last time.
Trained as a youngster.
But at least I know where we're going, so we can, if we're ready, we'll set off.
I am as ready and so looking forward.
Then I will undertake a journey. So.
to take that journey.
So this is with wits. We are not setting off from a community with which we share a bond. So this is just +2. So 3 + 5. 3 + 2 is 5 for a weak hit. I could burn my momentum on this. We just suffer -1 supply. That'll do. We'll do that. I'm not going to burn my momentum just yet. So supply goes down to 2. Ooh. We're running out slowly, but we do get to mark progress on our journey. And this is dangerous. We mark 2 progress per waypoint.
Isn't it troublesome,
So
isn't
it's
it?
3 progress.
Yeah.
So Katrin begins leading everyone through the woods, kind of avoiding the kind of more dangerous paths, like keeping us on fairly well-traveled roads, trying to keep us hidden as best we can as we begin making our way through this journey. But that's only 1 waypoint, so maybe like we come across like a river or something like that as, you know, a few hours into our journey. What do we want to do? Do we want to just carry on trying to make progress, or do we want to try and, you know, gain any more advantages or anything like that?
I think we need to just make more progress.
Just make more progress. Do you want to take the lead on it, or should I?
Yeah, so we come to a river, and it's seemingly impassable, but there is a rope that is hanging over the river. So I think it's a case of just swinging from the rope from one side to the other.
Okay, sure. I mean, we can just say that as a narrative thing. It doesn't have to be a roll, so this can just be the next part of the journey.
Yeah.
All right. So do you? I mean, I guess like me or Vigo should do it because it uses wits, and you are not
Witty.
witty. All right. I'll just do it again. So this is where the game works. So that's +2. So we now want 7s or under. So if I really flub this, that's when complications happen.
4 and a 2.
Didn't flub it though. On a strong hit, you reach a waypoint. If the waypoint is unknown to you, envision it. Then choose one. You make good use of your resources, mark progress. You move at speed, mark progress, and take +1 momentum, but suffer -1 supply. I don't think we can do
no
that.
more
while we're at
supply.
2.
Yeah.
No
So
more
we're just
need
going to
the
mark
supply
progress, so
supply.
3 more progress.
Yeah.
And then what could this location be that we've come across? I will roll it up and see what we get. It's a grove, a lovely grove of trees.
Oh.
So we come across this large open grove with flowering trees, but this is like an old forest, right? So these flowers look weird.
Yeah, like I imagine like really blood red balloons.
Red, and kind of like vines that kind of hang down.
Oh my god, do you know like the rain? Like, so this is a legit plant in the rainforest that actually it has spikes on it and it's a blood drinker. So the idea is these spikes prick animals as you go past them and it drinks the blood. And animals can actually get stuck on it and then it just drinks them. And this is a legit thing that exists.
Oh my god.
In like the Amazonian rainforest or somewhere.
All right,
So I imagine weird
things
or
like that.
pitcher plants and stuff like that can suck you in.
Well, it's also like it'd probably be called something like a thorn plant or something like that, or like a
I think it's like a vampire plant.
Makes
like,
sense.
yeah.
So like for us, like we're avoiding these like blood drinkers in this grove, which is surrounded by them, but there's a space in the middle which is clear, ominously clear. But we get there, we make progress. We can try and finish the journey. So we've already. Did you already mark that progress for that last one? Yeah. So we can try and roll, but that's what, 6 progress?
Yeah.
So we need to get 2 6s or under. I do have 8 momentum that I could burn. Actually, no, I don't know if you can burn momentum on a progress thing.
I feel like it's kind of a
Yeah,
waste.
momentum
like
is ignored. Yeah, you can't.
I feel
You
like
can't
it
burn
should be used
momentum.
for fighting or something.
Yeah. Also, you can't burn it on this anyway. So we can try and make another progress.
Yeah.
We could even try and camp and stuff again if you want to try and get more health. Or spirit. We could try and make camp again. But camp is. I mean, we're at +2 supply.
Yeah, and counting your blood drink.
I could try and forage and get our supply up.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. I can hunt, forage, or scavenge. And then if I succeed, then we can bolster. Obviously, if I miss, we have to pay the price.
Yeah.
So, which will probably
so
be we're
risky,
attacked by something.
Yeah. Like the plants start walking.
Shall I try and do it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna do it. So,
What's a little risk?
right, I don't get my wild blood on this, so this is just plus wits.
Why don't you roll in the dice tray?
Oh, these dice suck so much.
You got a 1 on the other
Oh
one
my
anyway.
god. So this is a 3 or under. I'm definitely burning momentum on this if we get it.
2 and a 1.
I don't need to. Oh my god, that's amazing. We gain +2 supply. So Catherine maybe
Boom.
sneaks off, leaves you all in the safety of the grove, and then I come back with some large, maybe an elk or something that I've stalked and killed. Rather than just the meat, though, I start cutting off the hides and the sinew from the skin to use as rope and stuff like that.
I'm just looking at it longing, it's been a few hours.
If you want to cook some, you go ahead, but I'm not doing it for you.
Second breakfast.
Just cook it yourself. I'm not doing it for you. We're not making camp, we're just getting supplies.
I could eat it raw, carpaccio style. Carpaccio, you never had a carpaccio? You could eat.
You want to eat the raw deer?
Yes, you could slice it very thin, and then you could make a fine vinaigrette with lemon and pepper and salt. Oh, it's wonderful.
City folk.
Do we have lemon and pepper in our supplies?
We do not.
Can I search myself?
You pull out a whole vinaigrette bottle.
I think it's probably likely that maybe a little pouch of pepper. The lemon, I think, would be a stretch. But you've got a tiny little bit of pepper. Me personally, that's how I see it.
If you remember, in the spider fight, when my cape got burnt, a secret pouch fell out of my cape and a lemon fell out of that.
That's where it was.
Yeah,
You had one of those capes with loads of pockets.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
stored stuff in. Okay, very Cam Buckland of you.
He wishes he was that organised.
Okay, cool. Well, we've got some supplies. So, do we want to just try and take the journey again?
Oh, my mic's falling down.
Oh.
Sorry, Sid.
All right. One more journey.
Yes, 1 more journey.
3 + 2, 5.
9
3 and a
and
9. So that's a weak hit. That's okay. We still reach a waypoint, but we just lose a supply, which we just gained a bunch for anyway.
Yeah.
So we just go down to 3, and then we mark progress.
We're at 9 now.
We might as well try and finish this.
Shall we try and finish?
Sure, go for it, Ted. You roll for this. So just 2d10s, 9s and under. You did so well last time.
3 and a 2.
Strong.
We've done it.
You, on a strong hit, the situation at your destination favors you. Choose one. Make another move now, not a progress move, and add +1, or take +1 momentum. So it's your choice. You made the roll, Sid. Sid?
Ted.
Don't know why. Because you said Sid earlier. You said sorry, Sid, and then it got in my brain.
Right. I am going to take a momentum.
Okay. So the situation favours us at the destination. So to me, the most obvious solution is whatever this cult is, they're busy with their
Rituals.
ritual inside.
Yeah.
So we can
Rituals.
approach without being spotted.
Yeah.
But once we go inside, that's
when we're
where
in danger.
we're going to be in trouble.
This sounds like the time for sneaking is upon us.
Well, do take the lead, my dear boy.
So,
Then at least if he screws it up, we can be somewhere else.
so what Mandu is going to do is I am going to.
Yeah, what move do you want to do? It sounds like if you want to try and sneak in, a face danger is like a pretty good one.
So I'm just trying to.
Look at it, shadow. Look,
on a
she's
strong
shadow
hit,
walk.
I'm going to shadow walk
Oh, okay.
because I can.
Because
I want to.
can.
I
Why
want
not?
to use
We've
it.
got
Sure,
15
absolutely.
minutes left. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, because especially if it really goes wrong.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, that's why I love these rolls.
Right. So I am
So
going.
explain to us what Shadow Walk does.
So I cloak myself with the gossamer veil of the Shadow Realms.
Ooh, the Shadow Realm, you
So this was the very last piece of sort of assassinhood that my mother taught me before she ran off
Mystic Arts.
to New Ridge. So I roll Shadow.
No, Naruto.
That's how he runs! That's how he
Ted,
runs!
tell him Mandy to not Naruto run. Ted is your character. You put your foot down.
Oh dear.
We need a confirmation here. Does he Naruto run?
Yes. He Naruto runs. So
And then he disappears. He does this. And then...
I am sneaking into the is it a temple?
yeah, it's like an ancient ruined...
Cool.
Well, it's an ancient ruin. We're assuming it's a temple, but it's some sort of ancient ruin. So before we do that, actually, there's one thing I was going to check. So...
Let that happen. Can't believe you. Naruto running. Have you no self-respect?
So one of the things, we won't do it now because I didn't print these out, but when we create a delve, which is like a dungeon site, you can actually assign different enemies to a roll percentage. So if you ever encounter a danger, you can actually roll
figure out which.
to see what enemies you get. But we'll just say that it's full of cultists for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Varying levels of cultists.
And then there are, in the expansion, it does add new moves specifically for going through dungeons as well. So I think that this one, it sounds to me. So you want to sneak into the keep, into this ancient ruin, yeah?
So there's not much need for me to shadow walk, but I am wanting to look incredibly stylish because I've made such a fool of myself in the rest of our short time together that I need to show these people that I am a man of stealth.
Yeah.
So I am using my gossamer veil of the Shadow Realms to sneak inside.
And does it get, what kind of benefit does it give you?
So basically, on a strong hit, I can take +1 momentum.
Okay.
And,
Whenever you do like stealthy stuff.
Yeah, and basically I'm going to try and scout out the inside and try and find out exactly where this treasure is.
Okay, perfect. So there is a specific move for these kind of like delve dungeon sites called Delve the Depths. When you traverse an area within a perilous site, envision your surroundings, then consider your approach. So you're doing it with stealth or tricky, so it is roll with shadow.
So
You got 3 shadow.
I'm not
Use those,
using
use
that
those.
one.
Use the weighted nightjar dice.
So.
Was that 4?
Okay, so what
Roll a
this
1.
means is that first I roll to see how successful I am on my sneak to try
And then
and,
the
but
shadow
then
roll.
the shadow walk I can re-roll
Right, I see. Okay, cool.
if something goes wrong.
All right, well, let's find out. So 4s and under.
5 and a 1.
So
And don't forget, you do have momentum. You can burn momentum as well. This is
so
a weak hit on the success.
yeah, so that's a weak hit. But now I'm going to do my shadow walk. So
Okay.
now I'm rolling shadow again.
Okay.
Sorry.
I know. I wanted your dice tray because it's bigger.
I said, do I need to bring anything?
I
You
know,
went,
because
no.
I didn't think.
So that's an 8,
Right?
And I'm just going to use...
So you just re-roll the whole skill check, basically.
basically, if I get a strong hit, then I can roll one of those dice.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, so that's why you've kept them separately.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 and a 6.
Which is a strong hit. So, you can
So
re-roll.
that means I can re-roll my 5.
Yep. So you had 1 hit already, so just re-roll the d10. Yep.
And I'm on a 4 for this one, aren't I?
Yeah. So you need 4 on.
Oh, I still didn't do it.
Still didn't do it? Okay.
But I did it very stylishly.
Okay. So now, so the result of that on a weak hit, roll on the following table according to your stat.
Cool.
So you rolled shadow, yes?
I'm just letting you know I just got 1 momentum for my strong hit on the shadow
Oh
walking.
yeah, you don't need to tell me, buddy. I'm no GM.
Cool.
Yeah.
There are no GMs here.
An 8. Mark progress and reveal a danger. So I've created a progress tracker for the ancient ruins. So I've marked 2 progress, and then reveal a danger. So you can roll these, Ted, because this is your danger.
That's a percentile dice.
That is a percentile dice. A 5. Okay, check the theme card. Oh no. So the the danger for this was an ancient evil resurgence.
God.
So whatever these cultists are doing works. Now, obviously, it's only a dangerous ruin, but this is hear my pitch, right? So as you're sneaking around, you hear this chanting growing and growing and growing, and as you do, the walls of the ruin begin to bleed, like blood begins trickling out of the stone, and it begins forming these like tendrils and these creatures, like these homunculuses out of the very kind of like earth blood itself, that then kind of begin kind of skittering to life, and you are currently like in the middle of all of them as you're sneaking
Can
around.
I just say that all of that you two have seen is me go
Just
inside,
go inside this
very
crumbling
stylishly.
ruin.
5 minutes later,
No.
no, I'm still going to hide inside
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
But all you can see is like the temple suddenly go red with blood, and you're like, what has he done now?
Yeah, and you know what? That's a great time to end.
I know, right? Oh my gosh.
That's a great,
Start
great.
bleeding.
Because it basically says check the theme card.
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
theme card's danger was an
Yeah.
ancient evil resurgence.
I love
That's great.
Just us telling it. So a
Like-
temple's meant to bleed?
I don't think so. And that's like the closing shot, episode 1. Done. Amazing stuff. Well, thank you guys for playing that with
That
me.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's very different, right? Like it's far less. Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, and you see this, and now I'm the NPC.
Yeah.
It's much more conversational. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
for me, this is such an amazing writing tool as well. Like,
Yeah.
even if you just use the oracles and the dice and the moves, you can generate so many cool ideas and themes around it that, like, it really gives you some really fun ideas. And things like the new Delve supplement. Like, this isn't a sponsored video. I just genuinely like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
stuff. But like the new Delve supplement, like all those theme cards,
Yeah.
what a great way to create like locations for dungeons
Extra.
in D&D.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I'm just going to create a dungeon. Oh, I got this, this,
Yeah,
and this.
yeah.
That's really cool. I love the progress track. Like,
I like that
no
too.
like monsters damage. It's just if you fuck up the roll, you're going to take damage.
Yeah.
If you get a good roll, you get to do damage back. Like that's just the way it works. It makes it like really speedy and quick.
Yeah.
And I think it's just fun, like having those conversations of like, oh, well, I think it could work like this. Oh, but what if? Oh, we could do this as well. And then you roll random shit, like the whole like Kordroth guy. Like it was just like, right, see what we get. Oh, he's
Yeah.
some sort of crazy hobo. And then Kim's like, well, what if he's connected to me and blah blah blah. Just what I love about this game. Like it can go really interesting places. Like that fight. We should have absolutely
I know,
just
right?
like
You
it
rolled two tens.
2 tens. Like if you'd even got a weak hit, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like we could have still continued. But we lost because of this
We
one
just needed
fuck up.
2 9s.
2 9s and you rolled 2 10s.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But the odds of that is nuts. And
Yeah.
you can't burn progress on it, burn momentum either. So it's just like, but if we'd done that, we would have been like, right, when we finished, we go
Yeah.
back,
That's
we
it,
hand it
done,
in, hey,
boring.
get experience. Like,
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
I
And we would have
really
just moved on to
like
the next
it.
thing, right?
Yeah.
We would have been like,
Yeah.
well, the caravan carries on going, what's the next problem?
Yeah, yeah.
And we just deal with that.
And instead it's like, we learnt some fun
Oh
backstory.
dear.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. So that's Ironsworn. Like I said, it's not a sponsored video, but I just have really enjoyed playing
Yeah,
this game.
I've really enjoyed it as well.
I did a solo stream on it on my Twitch, and it works surprisingly well because Twitch chat, I use Twitch polls and
Yeah.
stuff like that, which is really good. Yeah. Sean Tomkin, thank you very much for making it. It is available for free. Just search for Ironsworn RPG. I've tweeted about it, so just grab it from there. Really, really fun. Worth a lot of money. Did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Because we've made characters for an RPG, and have you?
Well, for me, this is like my first time actually doing proper RPG gameplay because I've played lots of board games before where you can role play a little bit, but generally you just follow the rules of the board game.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've played a bit of Vampire with you, but that was basically
we just did character
exactly that was
creation.
just character creation and the opening scene. So this is like my first time actually doing
sitting down and
playing it live on stream.
And I think that
what
this
better
is-
place?
Well, yeah.
First RPG, yeah.
And I think it's a good one because like D&D can be very complicated for a new player to learn, and it's very much a thing. This is like a great way to just kind of slowly introduce somebody to it because
Yeah.
like the mechanics of like the aspects and the dice rolls, it's actually quite simple. I think
Yeah.
by the end of
I think
it,
once
you
you
two
get
have
a few
picked it up
rolls
a bit.
in,
Yeah,
yeah.
like works really, really well. Cool. Well, big thank you to Ostov for some gift subs, Cooper Orc, Meowhell, Disco Droids, and of course lots of subs, resubs, and bits under 300. Plus we got a hype train. That was all on the High Rollers D&D channel. Thank you so much.
Oh, do you want to bring up the donos? I can read
Yeah.
these out while you bring out the donos for things.
If I can.
So,
I always forget to re-log back in.
We have a donation from Nightjar says, you had to pick spiders, didn't you, Kim? And we got a donation from Ace of Thorns says, don't get blown away, you lovely folks. Hugs. Do you want to read one?
You do the next one because it's not about what happened tonight.
Okay. We've got a donation from Norev. Missing HR today. For next time, Tom, can you prepare to speak with Dead to still get something from the prisoner? Did Grey Lano get rid of the body and it's too late? Anyway, enjoy the break and looking forward to next time. So I actually can do speak with Dead.
Yeah, why didn't you?
Because I can't be bothered. And also that guy's, like, by the time we get back, like, he'll be well departed, right?
But
Like,
I did find it interesting because obviously I know that Quill can do it. I didn't know you could do it, but I know Quill can prepare it. Yeah.
The level up.
I was just like, oh, interesting. I think the problem is Tom. He has so many spells he has access to. It's very easy for him to
Lose
forget
track,
that he
yeah.
can do stuff.
Yeah.
But also remember, it's like he would have had to have prepared Speak with Dead ahead of time.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the kind of cleric
But
that
also
would
that's-
prepare
yeah,
that
I think
spell.
a lot of times we get these questions, it's like, think of what the character would do, though. Would the character really think of that? Would that be the
I think
first
some
thing
characters
of it?
would,
Yeah.
but Quill wouldn't.
No,
I
exactly.
think Quill has the eye, and he uses that the majority of the time. And yeah, I think it just depends on the cleric. Also, what doesn't help is I'm sure that I know that in Crit Role they have 2 clerics. One of them always has Speak with Dead, so a lot of people are like, they instantly think of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes at the table, it's very easy to think of stuff when you're watching it back and in hindsight, but in the moment, it just
There's
goes.
so much you
There's
could
so
do,
much going
like,
on.
Yeah, and we don't know it all. Ted, why don't you read out?
So this is from Meta Manu. He says, "Hi guys, nice to see Ted on screen once more. It is very nice to be on screen.
Good.
It was my birthday yesterday. Happy birthday,
birthday.
Happy
Meta.
birthday, Manu.
Having a High Rollers one shot in a different system is like a birthday treat. The brainstorming aspect of co-op looks really fun. Such a change from D&D.
Yeah.
It really is. And this system, Ironsworn uses the Powered by the Apocalypse system. So the moves is like the sheet of moves is specifically from Powered by the Apocalypse. Loads of amazing games that use that system. Critical Role recently just did a Monster Hearts one shot which uses it. There's also a teen superhero game called Masks, which I really want to play because it's very much like it goes into the relationships and the kind of emotional stuff of being a teen superhero, which I think is really cool. I think you need the right group. Like I think I could play that with like you and Ted and like maybe like Tom and Ree. I can't see Trot and Katie really getting into it in that way because it's a lot of like, shut up, Dad!
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like
I'd be
more.
so good at that.
You'd be really good at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. And then there was just 2 little donations over on the High Rollers channel. Thank you, Nightjar. Wait. So you're telling me that Tom is busy doing something else? Thomas Hazel?
No worries. Unbelievable.
Well, hi Ted. And that was Nightjar's message.
Hi, Nightjar.
And then Varys donated with no message as well. And then I think I might have. Nope, that's got the subs included as well. So it wasn't. Come on.
Cool.
Thank you very much, everybody. I can't remember who's on after us. Is it Becky again this week? Becky, there you go. Thank you, Sid. So Becky Boom is on after us in the featured stream slot. I will be back to streaming tomorrow on my own channel. What about you?
I'm doing Wednesdays 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. and
Is that
doing
featured?
Friday. I think Friday's one is going to be featured.
Featured Friday.
Featured Friday.
Featured Friday, but normal stream on your channel on Wednesday.
On my channel on Wednesday and Friday. And then we've got Chaos Twins here.
Chaos Twins on Tuesday. Got Foleyship on Wednesdays, which is on the Ghostcast channel, where I am remaking Lord of the Rings with Tom Bates and Sam Gibbs.
Ted, you got anything to pimp out?
Nope. But
Well,
I'm sure I'll turn up at some point on your channel or on your
I'm sure
channel
you will at
or
some point.
on this channel.
He'll just be in the
So
background like, hello.
Kate's going to be really mad at me because I forgot to mention that our metal dice are currently half price. I should have mentioned this right at the start of the stream. Whoops! Metal dice are currently half price on our merch store. Go and buy those.
$16.99
for a set of metal dice and a leather bag.
That's pretty insane.
Bargain.
50% off for the next 2 weeks.
Boy.
And
Should have mentioned that at the start.
just tell Katie we said it at the beginning.
Bye.
Say bye, Ted. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.